Sunday afternoon. Welcome back into another episode of the Zig Zone, WBGU 88.1's show, keeping you up to date with everything going on in the world of Falcon athletics. As always, the Zig Zone is a production of BG Falcon Media, WBGU 88.1 FM, and the Falcon Media Sports Network. I'm Holden Ruck, your host, joined by four talented analysts from the Falcon Media Sports Network. To my right, Lucas Kleinmeyer. How we doing, Lucas?
Indifferent, to say the least, but we're here.
Henry Costco. How we doing, Henry?
Doing pretty solid. As Bowling Green women's soccer just got another draw to Akron. We'll talk about that later on.
Sean Connolly in the next chair. How you doing, Sean?
Good. Just ready to talk about the disaster that happened yesterday.
Which one?
Got the mic working now.
Which one?
And Ben Korak, last but certainly not least. How you doing, Ben?
I'm doing well, Holden. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Something that we've learned covering sports at a MAC school or a Missouri Valley Conference program, a mid-major school, is you really live by the highs and the lows. And this weekend is arguably the lowest of the lows this year. Not great. A couple of results where you have to just sit back and laugh. First, and probably the most obvious of those, being a just shocking second-half collapse by Bowling Green football against Kent State at Kent. We're going to step away briefly for station identification, and when we come back, we're going to get right into that. So don't go anywhere because you're listening to the Zig Zone on WBGU 88.1 FM.
You are listening to Falcon Media Sports Network coverage on WBGU 88.1 FM in Bowling Green, Ohio.
Welcome back here to the Zig Zone. Without further ado, we're going to get right into it because Bowling Green football, in a staggering turn of events, maybe not staggering, but I was certainly surprised, lost a game against Kent State, the worst team in the MAC, arguably the worst, pretty inarguably the worst team in the country last year. Sean, you want to talk about just kind of start to finish of that a little bit before we break it down in further detail?
Yeah, I mean, first drive of the game, Baron May takes him down the field. Jacob Harris touchdown. An unbelievable catch, by the way. And then you think that's just going to be, how it's going to go all game. And then Kent State just kind of hung around. I think it was 14-3 at half, and then out of the half we scored again, first drive. So you're like, all right, 21-3, we're in control of this game. What could possibly go wrong? And then an 18-point deficit Kent State overcame, and it was the highest deficit that Bowling Green has given up since the Toledo game 2 years ago when it was here midweek when we lost 32-31. So
I think that was also 18 points, maybe?
It was 18 points, so it was literally the exact same. So different situation, but yeah, I don't know. You score, like I said, out of half, and you're like, all right, and then you just don't score again. I don't know what it was because Baron May looked good yesterday. He was not the part, in my opinion, for the loss. So I don't know how you guys viewed that. I thought Baron May played well enough to win that game. I think, again, I don't even think you can even blame the defense in a weird way, but it was like they didn't. I don't know. What were your guys' thoughts on that?
I mean, I think even if you just look at the quarter by quarter, if they score another 7 points in the fourth, as they did in each of the other three quarters, we're not having this conversation. Yeah. I mean, that's, one score is a difference right there. I mean, you could point to a missed field goal, but at some point you don't expect them to make them all.
I was just about to mention, he missed one, but he's still a really good kicker. Like, that happens.
Right.
You can't put him hey, we should be tied right now because of Jackson.
Putting him on trial for the margin of error only being 3 points.
That happens, and I think even Eddie George said it. He's like, that's a part of the game. You're going to miss kicks. And it was like a 43-yarder, so it wasn't like it was a chip shot. But yeah, you're looking at it a little differently. I don't know. It was just a disaster yesterday in the second half. It was literally what the Toledo game was a few weeks ago. We were just on the wrong end of it yesterday.
And I think partially more troubling, too, is in the Toledo game, you've got the rivalry setting. You've got a dominant home crowd in Bowling Green's advantage. And Toledo, genuinely beating themselves in the penalty margins. It's not like Bowling Green was severely over-penalized. 7 penalties for 66 yards compared to 6 for 50.
They had some bad situational penalties, though. They had some in pretty poor situations.
The first half was only 1 for 9 yards. Second half was 6 for...
But I'm saying you're not giving up, a full field and then
that's
some
true.
penalties.
It was an improvement
like you did
from
against
last
Central.
Week, but it was
that's
the first half,
bar.
when you looked at it, it's like, okay, we have really improved on the penalties, and then the second half was literally what it was a week ago, with just kind of just some unnecessary penalties. again, holdings, pass interferences, like those happen. You're not gonna get away from those ever. But like it's the personal fouls, it's the stupid penalty that's like could be so avoidable if you just maintain your players.
Yeah, and Sean, I'm with you on what you said. I thought Baron May looked pretty good. I think when we watched both quarterbacks struggle, both Lucian Anderson and Drew Pine struggle in other times this year, I have to wonder how many people were thinking about him as a possibility. I think it's easy to think back to the 68 Ventures Bowl, think about that incredible touchdown pass he threw as a, like disguised punter, basically.
I mean, he's accurate. We saw that last year, like you mentioned in the fake punt. I saw that yesterday. He's accurate. He can use his legs. Why was he not a more of an option?
In college for a while now.
Yeah. I mean, what did you say yesterday, Ben, or a little bit ago before we came?
Yeah,
on?
I mean,
the second best.
His second best game by any quarterback this season. Only second to Drew Pine against Cincinnati, which is a game that they probably were never going to win. So even that,
in a way,
you kind of wipe that away.
Quarterback performance we've
seen
in
a game that actually mattered. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
the fact a couple of weeks ago that we were ever talking about, this team being able to make a MAC championship with the quarterback room of Drew Pine, Lucian Anderson, and Baron May, even though Baron May played well, is just unbelievable.
Hunter Najm.
Got
to make a shout to...
what we saw, 4 pass attempts or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, what we base off yesterday from him. But we might see him on Saturday. Like, who knows? This quarterback room is...
I mean, in my opinion, Baron May earned his way back out if he's healthy.
I don't think he will be, though. I don't know.
Maybe
we'll see.
not.
That's not reported anywhere, but he took a really bad shot to the leg, and he had to get carted off. So we'll see more of an update this week. I'm sure that'll be asked tomorrow at the press conference. But, yeah, I don't know. This quarterback room's kind of a question mark, and we're in game number, 9, 10? I mean, it's getting to the point where it's like, what was we don't even have an identity yet. And we're in November. We're going to be in November come next game. So it's interesting, and... Don't get me wrong. I think you got to give Kent State their flowers. They played hard in the second half and earned that victory, but
you still
no way, shape, or form you should have lost to that team.
Yeah, they just got so complacent in the second half, especially they had the same amount of passing yards and had 100 and just under 100 more rush yards total. I mean, they were commanding the game for a long time. Should have been able to do that in the second. You're up 21-3, you run the ball. That's what every team does in NCAA. All you do is sit back and rely on a run game, which has already been strong, and you weren't able to do it. And it just everything just in that second half kind of fell apart, couldn't get any momentum. Yeah, like you said, credit to Kent State. I mean, they marched down the field and got the touchdowns when they needed them. It's just, again, another game that you didn't feel like the Falcons should have lost. There's no way.
Yeah, and I mean, you can point to the absence of Cameron Petaway in the run game too, but I mean, it's still a talented running back room. And I mean, Austin Dendy had a solid day, 93 yards, touchdown.
When he first got the first couple carries, I'm like, who is this guy? I don't even know who he is. And then when you see Austin Dendy, redshirt freshman, 225, it's like, where is this guy starting in the first? Obviously, but it just shows how much depth we have in that position. But at the same time, it's like, he was running over tackles. I mean, he was getting a good 5-6 yards after the tackle or after the hit. So I don't know. I mean, you're right. I do think that Cameron Petaway was evident in his absence yesterday, but I don't know. The way I look at it is that the receiving game is still. I mean, our top receiver was Jair Johnson with 53 yards. Nobody there hasn't been a receiver game all year that has stood out.
Yeah.
No. I mean, Jacob Harris has caught a lot of touchdowns. He's been great in the red zone.
Oh, yeah, he's been great in the red zone. But it's
I don't understand
there hasn't been a breakout receiving game of, this guy had over 100 yards, touchdown, all the, I guess we were so used to a year ago having Harold Fannin over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns every game. That was just kind of what we're used to. And this year, obviously the passing game has been a little iffy throughout the entire year, but still, it's there still really isn't a true number one guy, and that could either be a really good thing or a really bad thing. And, I don't know how you guys view it, but personally, I'm starting to view it as not necessarily a good thing because, I don't know, we just can't seem to find guys.
I mean, I don't think it was ever a good thing. Any quarterback kind of needs a crutch, and you don't have one at all. In the red zone, you could argue Jacob Harris, but he's still not getting really any receptions outside of the 20-yard line.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know why he's not getting receptions. I don't know why Finn Hogan still. I've said this almost every game this season. Yeah, why is Finn Hogan not getting targeted? Like
One
he's
catch,
a
12
big
yards
body. He
late.
gets relatively open.
Late, yeah.
He's decent downfield. He's
tall.
decent
Like,
on the sidelines.
He can win
Yeah.
one-on-ones.
He's
like,
athletic. He can make
Yeah.
plays. And
we've seen
with
it time
Baron
and
May,
time
who
again.
has an arm, I mean, I don't know why you're not targeting Finn Hogan all the time.
Well, and even if you don't think he's like the most reliable on getting wide open, etc., we've seen him make spectacular contested catches.
Yeah.
Plenty
Think
of
about
times.
his like we wouldn't be hearing Finn Hogan's name if it wasn't for that one-handed catch. Like
Yeah.
he can catch the ball
He
in
can.
contested situations, like you just mentioned.
Yeah.
So it's like we know it's there. So what's the problem?
I mean, part of it is just, you mentioned, it's just the lack of having an identity when you have different players that are, coming out of nowhere and having performances. And I mean, you mentioned it with Austin Dendy, he's leading the team in rushing, and it's a player we haven't heard of. And it's the same thing where you don't have anyone you consistently go to, and they don't have that sort of thing established.
I think before the press conference or the post-game press conference started, sports information director Vince for football team, he said it was the best debut by like a first-year starter since like 2011. I think he said he'll figure out who it was exactly, but I mean that just like Austin Dendy truly made himself like a name for himself yesterday, and like I expect to see him in the offense more and more over the next 4 games.
I mean, I think that's certainly a nice reassurance for this team going forward. You just have a ton of depth in that running back room, and guys who can produce. I mean, they had over 200 yards rushing as a team. 30 of those are from your quarterback, fine. 93 of those are from one other player, but you had another 50-yard rusher. I mean, you've got guys who can play. Cameron Petaway comes back. That's really looking like a loaded room. But the passing game is
that's
just,
all great and dandy, but like never once this year have we been like, man, the running game needs to get better. Like never once
Right.
have we said that.
No, you're correct.
So like I don't care who's out there running the ball, because the offensive line's good enough and the scheme's going to be good enough running that they're probably going to get yards. It's just the passing game for the last 6 weeks of the season. You've asked for it to get better, and it just hasn't gotten better.
Yeah.
There's been like no distinct there's been no sign of even a change in the way that they've attacked the air game.
I don't think
And-
you can
and
even expect them to have any sort of cohesion with the passing game when you have 3 different quarterbacks in order to have
maybe.
it just makes it so much more difficult, because when Pine was in at the beginning of the year, they were progressively. You mentioned since he was second best, that was a game where they were playing well, and if you have Pine in multiple times, and
but it's less of cohesion and more just like their approach hasn't changed. Like Lucian Anderson and Baron May have better arms than Drew Pine, and yet they have barely thrown downfield more.
Yeah.
And
so,
in the state of football now in NFL or college, like you can throw downfield just to instigate PIs.
Yeah.
You can PI your way down the field, and you don't get that if you don't throw,
that happened
throw
yesterday.
long.
Baron May, I think his intended receiver was Jacob Harris for like 20, 25 yards.
And it
he
turned
knew
to
it wasn't
first
going to
down.
be caught, so he kind of just lobbed it up there.
Yeah.
It was on a 3rd down, too. They called pass interference. They extended the drive. I don't know. I can't remember exactly when it was, so if it turned into points or not.
I seem to remember something like that. I would have guessed Finn Hogan, but I don't recall exactly. And you have guys like Jacob Harris as a matchup nightmare. Finn Hogan as a wide receiver, probably a matchup nightmare. He's bigger than a lot of defensive backs. He's big for a wide receiver. So I don't know. It's just I would have liked to see a change in the way the passing game has gone.
they should just be utilizing Jacob Harris a lot
Yes,
more. Just
they
in
should.
The offense in
They should
general.
utilize him the same way that they used Harold Fannin a year ago, with like him taking snaps, him taking kind of more pitches. Like you could use a guy like that in all aspects of the offense, not just we're going to just get him the ball through the air. Like you can get him. Like I think Harold Fannin threw the ball last year. Like we've seen it happen before, and like maybe I'm just saying that as like a fan, like, oh, we want to see that more, but like utilize your players to their fullest ability.
Well, because it's not like to get an effective result from that sort of kind of crafty play calling. You don't need a Harold Fannin caliber player. Jacob Harris is a great player. We're not saying he's Harold Fannin, but he doesn't need to be to get something more dynamic from that offense out of, deploying him, putting running backs in different positions, putting receivers in different positions. I feel like the couple of times we've seen the sparks, against Toledo, and then one brief glimmering moment against Central Michigan, were both on like reverse plays.
Yeah.
And where's the creativity a little more consistently than just when you're already kind of down and battered?
I mean, creativity won them the game in the second half against Toledo with how they changed the offense. Why don't you try to carry that over to the next couple of games? It seems like they just didn't really kind of stick with that sort of mentality.
Yeah, and like I said, the first drive of the game for Bowling Green, like they went down the field, controlled the game, scored. So it's like, where is that the entire game? Obviously, you can't continue to run the same plays, but like clearly something was working for them to move the ball.
Right.
So it gets to a point where it's like, is it the offensive coordinator and his is it the OC? Like, is that a problem?
I mean, we're not just running out of plays, surely.
Yeah. I don't know. You just got to start thinking. It's like, is the OC the problem?
I don't know. I didn't agree with a lot of the play calling yesterday, and it's tough to
especially in the fourth quarter where it's like,
and it's tough to come up with individual circumstances because everything's different, and there's so many plays that I don't remember exactly, but I remember sitting in the B-dubs and Sault Ste. Marie thinking to myself like, what are we doing here?
Well, Henry actually made a good point.
We were not happy. We were not happy in the B-dubs.
You have 4 different people under center. How are you going to have any sort of cohesion, not just play calling, but offensively? I mean, now you can't expect anything, a passing. I mean, so now who's our quarterback moving forward?
Is Pine supposed to come back?
He said, like, we're hoping for him to be available this week. Again, you don't want to rush it, but at the end of the day, it's like, I don't even know what happened to him. And then you don't know what happened to Lucian Anderson, so I'm sure there was a more practice-oriented injuries. And then Baron May, again, didn't look really good yesterday, or in terms of the injury, didn't look good for future. So it's like, who is going to be our quarterback on Saturday? We don't know.
So how do you get those guys, reps, but also like just clear communication with only media, but also your team? Like, hey, this is going to be the quarterback moving forward, even though Drew might come back, he might not come back. Oh, he come back this week. Oh, he's going to come back next week, or he might come back the following week. And then Lucian is now hurt after he was in it for a couple of games, and then Baron May, who I also think he played really well for his first game in how many years, so now you're on your 4th string.
Yeah.
So I agree with Ben too. I don't care who runs the ball. But now you just might have to run teams off the field. That's because you ain't going to pass teams to beat them. Ain't no way. And now teams are now going to look at you scouting-wise and say, oh, you're on your 4th string quarterback. Just stack the box. I ain't going to let you run the ball. I'm going to have you pass to beat me.
Yeah.
So now we're super one-dimensional. We're one-dimensional this entire season. Now we're even more one-dimensional moving forward because who we have throwing the ball.
I mean, this is a problem that you see with all kinds of FBS programs. This isn't something that's like different where, the game plan obviously was, Drew Pine was set to be the QB1. That's who was getting probably the majority of the reps the entire offseason. And then you come in and he's injured, and you expect them to have to adapt to not just one QB2, but now a QB3 when all of them are pretty much 3 separate play styles. It's, it's one of the situations where what can you really do sometimes, I feel like.
And it's just reps. It's like, okay, is this who we're going with? Okay, are they going to take all the starting reps? Are they going to split them? Because that's a big thing. They all play different. The timing's all different.
It's the classic, like, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have one.
And if you have 4,
and now you're mixing in 3 and 4. It's like you don't have one. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm with you with, like, you have to have a set in stone quarterback, and like obviously injuries happen. I mean, you can't take those away, but. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know with the quarterback situation because, like I said,
even if everybody was healthy, assume everybody's healthy. Did Drew Pine do enough to make you think that he's the guy?
No.
I mean, Lucian played fine in the first half, and everybody was like, "Dude, Lucian might be the guy." And then now Baron May's got like a decent game. If he's healthy, we might be like, "Well, why would Lucian or Drew Pine get the ball?"
We saw Lucian throw 150.
Now, granted,
pass, and we're like, yes.
Okay. Now, granted, it is still Kent State, but what are we gonna? Do you have a guy?
Well, that's the question I have for Sean is what changed in the second half where their offense just completely stalled? What adjustment? Did Kent State make any adjustments, or was it just...
I mean, Kent State, they had one run, I want to say to make it 21-17, by their running back for like 45 yards. And after that, it was like all Kent State momentum, and like Bowling Green just couldn't get anything going offensively, so they kept running, like trying to run the ball, couldn't really get anything going. A couple first downs here and there, but then it was it's the passing game that just it keeps coming back to the passing game, and they just can't throw the ball sometimes, and they just stall out, and it's so frustrating as a fan just to like watch that. It's like it's there, we know we have the players. It's not like it's like an execution problem when it comes to the players. It's just like, what are we calling?
I just want to know the conversion percentage on 3rd downs 5 yards and
as
longer.
Well, and
because it's probably 0.
I know that going into the year, like the offensive line was like the big, like this is going to be like our strong suit. They kind of fell apart yesterday.
I know what you're. Yeah.
I mean,
3 sacks.
Yesterday they fell apart,
Is that the most
especially in the
sacks
second
of the
half.
The second
where
half
it's
was
like
brutal.
this was supposed to be that group that was like leading the way, and like, hey, we're the experienced group. We're gonna like establish, ourselves as one of the best in the conference. Yesterday they fell apart, and it was like they weren't giving, especially in like later in the fourth quarter when like you kind of have to get something going. They didn't allow Baron May to even have like more than like 2 seconds to throw the ball. And that I'm not blaming the offensive line for his injury. However, that's kind of what happened, where like defensive line for Kent State just swarmed him, and it just allowed him to just get hit. So,
and that's maybe one of the most vexing things about this team to me this year, more than play calling and quarterback confusion. As a head coach, what are you going to say? Like, hey, this guy's our starter. People know that he was kind of the presumed starter for a while before the season. Drew Pine was kind of expected to be the guy. You're going to say, yeah, we hope we can get our starter back. That's all good and fine. But, I mean, yeah, we talked before the season, returning as many guys as you are on this offensive line. I mean, this should have been and should still be one of the best units in the conference. Yeah. And, I mean, they haven't been, like, outright bad, I wouldn't say. But I don't think they've been good enough.
Yeah, they've been in like the top half of the conference, which is all great. But I think the expectation for them was to be literally like 1 or 2, maybe 3 in the conference, and that we just haven't seen that, in my opinion.
Well, we've talked a lot about quarterbacks too, but if you put any competent college quarterback into a situation where you have a good run game and you have a good offensive line, the success rate is high, and yet it's still not. Like you've tried 4 guys now with a good offensive line that hasn't played great to what you expect, but still good, and good rush game, and they still haven't found great success yet.
Yeah.
So then what's the issue here? Why are you still not able to pass the ball efficiently?
It's just so conservative. The offense, it's so conservative every game with running until like you absolutely.
It's so predictable. Like you know what's coming essentially, and then it's like that the other team's gonna stop it.
You're just not talented enough to get away with that.
Yeah.
It feels like a phrase that I found myself, and I feel like we said a lot during the Loeffler era. It feels like on offense, Bowling Green is playing to not lose.
Mm-hmm.
They're not playing to win, they're playing to not
and then,
lose.
Yes,
you always
have
lose
an 18-point lead. It's like now they're especially not playing to lose. Yeah. Where it's like we have the lead. As long as we just keep, not lose, like not trying to lose.
That was probably part of it because they took their foot off the gas pedal offensively in the second half, and then Kent State got a touchdown, and you're on the road. They're going to get momentum.
They didn't score for 25 minents in the game, where they scored, like I said, out of the gate of the second half with 10 minutes to go in the third, and then after that they just couldn't produce anything. I don't even know the last time they got across the 50.
Just 3 and out, give the ball back. 3 and out.
Again, their offense just continued to stall out. Yeah. And again, I don't know if it's an execution problem or if they just were playing so conservatively with the play calling on the offensive side, where it's like we know it's coming, and then we're just going to give the ball back, and our defense is just going to have to play their tails off.
I mean, I feel like I would rather see this offense have a couple of turnovers if they're at least trying some aggressive plays, some shots downfield, something. They had no turnovers lost. That makes it all the more vexing. The defense, they gave up 24. They didn't play that bad of a game.
No,
really.
Again,
you can win games giving up 24 on defense. You can't
pinpoint the defense as like we lost that game because of them, but at the same time, they also didn't produce any turnovers. So it's like you're not giving yourself any help with that aspect too. But you're right. I don't think the defense played. They didn't play they didn't lose that game for the Falcons yesterday.
No, and I mean, 1 sack. No turnovers defensively. You're giving up 24. That's not a great number to give up, but it's not like you're getting blown out defensively. It kind of feels like a mirror of the offense. It's very bend but not break completely, kind of conservative play there too. I don't know. It just feels like this team's not very willing to take risks.
Mm-hmm. And
broadly speaking,
Kent State's quarterback Drew DeShields, he didn't light it up. He didn't play that good in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, he didn't play bad, but he just kind of played neutral. And then they ended up winning the game, scoring 24 points. So it's in my opinion, it was like I said, it was the Toledo game. We just were on the receiving end of the loss, and we were the ones who blew the lead.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at the stat sheet for DeShields, 13 for 22, 160 yards.
Yeah, he didn't light it up.
Okay.
Yeah, so it makes you think it's just we shot ourselves in the foot, and we lost to Kent State.
And I know this isn't the same Kent State team as they were last year, but
no, they're definitely much improved, and their head coach, interim head coach, I should say, has done a tremendous job considering Kent State's circumstances going into the year. So I do give, like I said, we have to give them their flowers. It's not like we can't, but we should have.
It's not a game Bowling Green.
It's should not a game we should have lost.
I feel like a fool. After think about where you were.
The expectations after the Toledo game, yeah.
Everyone's like, they have no. They can run the table.
They could run the table, yeah.
They can go all the way MAC championship game, and we lost to Central and Kent State. Central's good. I will admit.
I'm in the same boat. I'll be so honest. I was the one leading. I was the one that was a big path to 8 wins.
I said 1-1. If you go 1-1 against Toledo and Ohio, you have a true shot at potentially getting to Detroit.
Looking back on it, nobody wins a MAC championship with the quarterback room that they have.
No.
It doesn't matter how good of a team you have, unless you have 2023 Blake Corum, but behind this offensive line, you're just not.
Where are you from?
Just
Big Wolverines guy?
No.
Where are you from?
No.
Not at all.
No.
I'm from Michigan, everybody.
And you know what really gets me about that too is maybe people should have been checking themselves along the way in terms of expectations. We get a big win. It doesn't mean that we're championship bound necessarily, but also a team that can
momentum,
win
it's a
that
builder.
game.
Yeah, where it's like
should be able to win these other games
This is the start
too.
of something that could be special.
If Bowling Green was able to beat Toledo, there's not a reason that they couldn't have beaten Central and Kent and have us talking about it completely differently right now. And now you're staring down the barrel of the rest of the schedule. They may not make a bowl game.
I mean, you got Buffalo next week, who lost to Akron yesterday, so very manageable to beat them. And then you play Eastern Michigan, who's decent, and then you play Akron, who did beat Buffalo, and then UMass.
I mean, after watching...
I'm sorry, but you should pencil in the win against UMass.
After watching yesterday, the only game that you can say you should win is UMass.
Yeah.
Can you say you should win any other
game? That's the only game you can pencil in as that's a win.
And how
Buffalo,
crazy
Akron,
is that?
Eastern are all better teams, realistically, than Kent, or no worse.
Which is crazy, because like I said, what we just talked about, where it's after that Toledo game, it's we could run the table, definitely make a bowl game, and now we're potentially not even making a bowl game. So... it's frustrating.
That's how it goes.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing too, obviously, you have 4 games left. You need 3 wins to be bowl eligible. I feel like there's so much pressure riding. Buffalo's probably the best team remaining on the schedule. Buffalo or Eastern?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah,
Buffalo or Eastern.
I would say Buffalo or Eastern, yeah.
And I said it a couple weeks ago. I'm kind of apprehensive about that road trip to Ypsilanti. That one's got trouble written all over
Still
it.
can't win on the road, too. That was our 4th road loss yesterday.
I didn't even know that.
And I know the road losses have come against
Good Lord.
3 of the best teams we played.
Yeah, definitely.
But
so
it also came at Kent State.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how much...
Yeah, honestly, if you looked at it, you knew you were probably going 0-3 to your first road teams. And then, not beating Kent State yesterday on the road is a little embarrassing.
A little?
Yeah, just
what do you do for recruiting now in the off-season? You may not make a bowl.
It's still MAC recruiting. It's not.
But how do you recruit a quarterback? You haven't thrown. The quarterback's going to want to come into a system that doesn't throw the ball. Maybe isn't an anemic pass game.
I know we've seen Lucian Anderson this year, but in my opinion, I think he's limited. They're not letting him play the way he probably wants to play. We know he has an arm. We know he can use his legs, but we don't really see that. So develop him. Fire the OC and develop him.
Well, and frankly, I mean, if you're a quarterback recruit in the bubble
Are you talking transfer portal? Because we're not going to start a freshman next year.
Anything.
Says who?
I mean,
you're right,
I would rather you start a freshman, probably.
There are multiple schools there's some of the best quarterbacks in the country are freshmen right now.
Yeah, but those are bigger schools, though. At Bowling Green.
Either way, I just if I was a quarterback, I wouldn't be looking at Bowling Green like a situation I would want to go
I guess
into.
to your point where it's Bowling Green isn't the type of school to start freshmen just right out the gate.
Yeah.
Well, and here's the thing, too, Ben, in fairness, I agree with you. I don't think our offensive style lends itself to being very desirable for a quarterback at all. But at the same time, if you're looking at Bowling Green as a recruit, are you thinking to yourself, oh, they're never going to throw, there's no future for me to be successful swinging the ball here? Or is it, hey, these guys are, somewhat limited in their capabilities, and Bowling Green's game plan is based around that. I think those things are both true to an extent.
True.
So, I mean, it's not all or nothing. You know what I mean? If you get a guy who can sling the ball, I reckon they're going to let him throw more.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean...
And for a freshman, that would make more sense. But if you're trying to, make a move next year, try and get a good, transfer portal guy that maybe is in one of his final years of football, is he going to take a risk coming to a MAC school that had no passing game last year? Or is he going to look for a school with...
And it's so anecdotal, too.
#NIL.
I'm not a fan of that anymore. I'm not after 2 years. I mean, Basilak was solid, but I mean, I think they need to just maybe ditch the going after someone who was at multiple Power 4 schools and just in their 5th year just
develop. I guess that's why I'm develop within, and you have guys like Lucian Anderson who we know how talented he can be. I don't know if it's one of those things have we seen him at his highest potential, or can he go even beyond that and have a next gear that's better than what we've seen? I don't know. That's obviously we won't know that until it actually happens. But is it just how limited the offense is this year, and that's why we don't see it, or is he just not that good of a quarterback and we're overhyping him? I don't know. That's a question, but I'm out on just trying to get a transfer quarterback just to what's the point?
I don't think that, because injuries are a problem with that sort of thing, because I mean Drew Pines had injury issues his whole career. This isn't new for him, so.
And it's just a loan, basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
got him for a year. It's cool. You're not building anything for the future. You're not establishing any kind of continuity. Within your offense.
I mean, it would be a win now kind of thing. You have a good enough team. The only thing you're missing is a
Connor Baselak being a quarterback last year as a transfer, you had a team that was in win now.
Yeah.
And he came in and stayed a couple of years.
Right.
Just two quarterbacks that come to mind, Tucker Gleason and Parker Navarro, both transferred into Toledo and Ohio respectively, but they've been there for 3 years. So they've been they're transfers technically,
your sophomore year, but I don't like this graduate.
Been there
I'm coming here as my last stop.
My last year.
And those are two of the more successful teams in the MAC.
Yeah, I'm not anti transfer, but I don't like the hey, we're gonna start you. You have your experience, and you're a graduate student. So I'm out on that for next year.
It's not that simple because you're learning a new system.
Exactly,
and it's not always going to work out.
But also, Bazelak was here because Leffler was trying to win the MAC. He was trying to win the MAC in 2 years. You get they're just band-aids.
Yeah.
You're not growing anything. You're not there long term. So if you're a brand new coach and you have a brand new whole staff and a whole new team, why not just develop a young freshman? Why not develop Lucian?
But also, if George came in really thinking. Next year, say he wants Lucian to be the guy, why wouldn't he have just done that this year?
That
would be my question. Why go out and get Pine if you think Lucian's going to be a long-term?
Well, and I think that's because of optics, though, because on some level, to the fans, Bowling Green had a lot of player turnover. Obviously, Coach George brought his whole new staff after Leffler left. But, as a fan, you're probably not looking at that and thinking, oh, we're going to take a step back. We have to rebuild. This is, especially in the state of Ohio, a recognizable football name, a guy who, did a really good job with a previous program on a smaller stage than he was at. And so to a fan, you're thinking, okay, we're right back in the thick of it. We're still competing. Yeah, whether or not that's a realistic expectation, probably not. But at the end of the day, that's going to be the narrative either way. So on some level, whether you think you're actually competing for a MAC championship or you just think you're rebuilding, I think there's a little bit of kind of pressure and impetus on him to play the guy that wins now, even if, the people kind of studying up, doing their homework know that this team is not going to win a MAC championship. Uh-huh. I don't know. Do you start the unproven guy that started this year if you think MAC championship is the expectation?
Just to gain that experience, if we're if what you said earlier, we know we're probably not going to win the MAC, but I just want experience with Lucian Anderson this year. So what's the point of getting Drew Pine?
It's also easy in hindsight for us to say that. Now looking at because if Drew Pine came in and was good, then we'd be like, all right, well, it was you're going to win games, you're going to make a bowl game in your first year, maybe possibly compete for a MAC championship through a decent amount of the season, whatever. But at this point, I just would have rather Lucian have done the whole season.
I agree.
He would have had maybe a more athletic guy in there, a guy with a better arm. You could have developed him. You would have had a guy that at least a name for next year. I mean, do we know a name for next year on who's going to start?
Even if it was the going into the year, Lucian will still be the backup. Okay, Barron May. Like, he was, like I said, didn't lose the game at all. I thought he played pretty well. He did enough to win that game, in my opinion, for Bowling Green. And
the whole thing, keeping coaching staff around, but then not starting a guy that had been with the program. I mean, now we're talking at the season as a whole, and it's not over yet. Like, they can still make a bowl game and still save this.
But it's like,
especially next week against Buffalo will be a big one to win.
But it's like, even if you're losing continuity due to players graduating, transferring, the turnover of the coaching staff, like, you don't completely lose all of your identity year to year. And, like, I'm with you there. Like, you know, we're bringing this guy who, you know, frankly, an unproven on the Power 4 stages. I think there's a solid argument that a lot of teams that Drew Pine was on won in spite of him. And, I mean, Sean, you've watched plenty of Notre Dame football. Has that never crossed, you know? Sure, that's crossed your mind at some point.
It could have been anybody else out there, and they probably would have won. Like, Drew Pine never won a game for Notre Dame, in my opinion.
Right, because, I mean, those were just good teams.
They were just good teams surrounding him. And so it's just like, what? Like, how would you expect that to be any different here? So, I don't know. I mean, it's just interesting because, like, did we overhype how we went with Eddie George and this whole team? Because, like, think about it. Like, it took him a couple years to get things going at Tennessee State. Granted, it's a different level of football, but he went from FCS to a lower FBS team. So it's not like it was like he went from, like, here to, like, Penn State or something, where it's like, you know that you're going to get the recruits.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. Like, did we just overhype not just him, but just, like, the team? Like,
I don't think so. I think it's just a combination of maybe a little bit of both. Just bad circumstances combined with maybe, you know, it's his first year. Because this team did beat Toledo. They beat Liberty at home.
That's
at
true.
homecoming. That was a pretty good win.
I think the Liberty game will be overshadowed because
I was just about to
Toledo,
say, like,
but that's still a pretty good win.
Into a couple of weeks ago, like, maybe it's foolish because all the signs were there, but, like, he did kind of earn us to be talking about what we were
100%.
talking about. Well, like he earned a win against Toledo. It was a comeback, but
as
they
well
still
as
won.
A homecoming win against Liberty.
And a homecoming win against Liberty.
Like,
yep.
And as part of kind of just like the messed up nature of winning, or like that responsibility of being a head coach, is, you know, as soon as you set an expectation one time, you know, the bar is like now raised to there, whether or not that's sustainable or should be for the foreseeable future.
Yeah. As well as, like, second you start losing, the finger will be pointed at you. So, like, it goes both ways, which sucks, but that's just how it is with football.
Yeah, through 6 games he exceeded expectations, I would say.
Yeah.
Up until over a whole of the 6 games he exceeded.
I mean,
and now we're at the turn of the year, and now it's 2 bad losses in a row.
Yeah, and I mean, again, a bowl's not off the table. If you win 3 out of 4, you're in. And if you look, I mean, you look at the MAC standings in particular, I think tell the story kind of nicely. You're not playing like the class of the MAC. You're playing Massachusetts, who's in last, 0-4 in conference. Eastern Michigan, second to last, 1-4 in conference. Akron's one step above you because they beat Buffalo yesterday at 2-3 in conference. Still 3-6, not a great team. And then Buffalo themselves, who's obviously a little higher, 3-1.
And then you play the worst team in the MAC and UMass.
Right.
So
I mean, you've got 3 bottom half teams in Buffalo.
Yeah.
So I mean,
and Buffalo always plays down to their competition.
I mean, there's absolutely we saw them go to overtime with Eastern. I mean, there's still
and
absolutely a road for this team.
UMass,
But I guess it does become a question. You know, say you split the remaining 4 games, you know, say you beat Akron and UMass and you lose to Eastern and Buffalo. I mean, I don't know, how do you look at that season in hindsight then? You know,
fail.
Is this...
You think
like you're saying to go
fail.
5-7?
5-7 is a
considering
fail.
through 6 games, 5-7 is a fail. Through 6 games, you would set yourself up for 8 wins.
Knowing how this team started, then yes, I would say a fail.
Yeah.
Overall, I think going into the year, what was our
we were anywhere between 4
probably
and 6.
around 500. I would say.
And I think that then just begs the question of, like, expectations.
Yeah.
You know, not to say, you know, I don't think you ever chalk any win up as a fluke. But, I mean, you look at, you know, big successful games, you know, a win over Liberty that was pretty close, a win over Toledo that was pretty close. You know, should that have, I guess the conversation is, should that have moved the needle of everyone's expectations so much? I would argue it shouldn't, maybe. But maybe that's just recency bias because I just watched that team lose badly 2 weeks in a row. So I don't know, but we're going to hear from Coach Eddie George in his post-game press conference after their loss at Kent State yesterday. So here's Coach George.
First of all, let me just congratulate Kent State on a well-fought game. Staff came out with a great game plan. is just very disappointed with the outcome and the results of the game, but seeing vast improvement from our team in terms of fighting and some things that we needed to work on showed up. We just have to learn to put a complete game together now. Let that one get away in the second half. Gave up 2 explosives on the defense. Really was 3 plays that we can look to that wind up going for touchdowns and changed the course, the momentum of the game. But I was really proud of Baron May for stepping in and down to our third-string quarterback, second week in a row, that last couple plays of the game that we lost a quarterback. So we've got to find some answers for that moving forward. Hopefully Drew will be back next week. But it's gut-wrenching when you lose a game that you had control over. And we've got to continue to learn and grow from this.
I want to leave it at that for now because it's gut-wrenching when you lose a game that you had that control over. Like, as much as I was impressed with what he had to say in his post-game following the Central Michigan loss, coming off of a loss like that, to be in control the way you were, looks like the offense is kind of firing, not on all cylinders, but better than they have been. You're really getting a touchdown a quarter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't have like a lot of positive to take out of that. Yeah, you hope Drew Pine's coming back. It's gut-wrenching to lose that way. But like, what I feel all the accountability that we've seen is kind of missing in this clip. And I'm not saying that he doesn't own that game, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, but at the end of the day, it's like a coach after a loss. Like, what you take with that is with a grain of salt. Like, at anything, whether you win or loss, like, what he says after talking to the media. No one likes the media. Let's be honest. Like,
right.
Like they're always going to just kind of give you the right answer.
I like me.
There we go.
I like me.
John
like
Candy. Trains, planes, and automobiles. Nice reference. I like that, Lucas. One of the best, or only Thanksgiving movie coming up, right?
Yes.
Okay, back though. I mean, but does that make sense? Where it's like they're always going to give that answer.
And what
of
you
like,
say to in press conference, that's not necessarily going to mirror the messaging to the team. So it's not like, oh no, this guy doesn't get it. He can't take accountability, which is maybe a thought we've had with previous coaches. But I don't know. I would have liked to see a little more. Obviously, that wasn't the whole clip, but at the end of the day, I mean, you're on to Buffalo, and to kind of just wrap up this segment. I mean, what are you expecting? What kind of version of the team do you think we're going to see? I mean, the quarterback is totally up in the air right now.
That's the huge question mark, and he addressed it later about Drew Pine. It was like, we're hoping to have him ready by next week. At the end of the day, it's like, do you rush him out or do you not? He's how many more? I don't know. Does he have another year of eligibility, or am I tripping?
Drew Pine?
Yeah.
No.
He's done. So he's done after this year. So it's like, at the end of the day, it's like just like, if he's ready enough, just throw him out there. Like, what's the point of him holding out? If he's truly injured, obviously don't. But like, if he's available, let him go.
He also just said in his press conference, hopefully Drew Pine's back. Yeah. Which implies he's going to start if he's healthy.
Yeah, because he was technically, like, he could have played yesterday if he really, like, because he wasn't out. Lucian Anderson was out.
Yeah, and the fact that Drew Pine wasn't like strictly out makes me think that we're going to see the return of him.
Yeah.
This upcoming Saturday against Buffalo, but
it is a little interesting. Well, I mean, it was at the end of the game, like literally, like within like a minute.
I think I was just thinking what you were thinking.
It was like, why would you not put Drew in? Yeah, but at that point, it's like, what's the point? He
was he dressed on the sidelines? I don't think they showed him.
Yes, he was. Yeah. He was dressed.
He was dressed.
Yeah,
and you still chose Najim over him.
I think the point of not throwing him in there is, I mean, you already know that leading that drive, no timeouts, 30 seconds, like, that's kind of a long shot. I'm not saying it's not a given, but like,
given his arm too, like, he's not stretching that field.
That's like not the best situation for him either. Like,
and I don't know what the report is on Najim. Like, I don't know anything about him.
He was throwing the ball because when Baron May was down.
He did look like he had a nice arm.
Yeah, he made a couple of good passes.
He was, 2 for 4 or something like that?
I know he completed a one for like 20, 25 yards, something like that.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
for me, it's more of an experience thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure Drew Pine has led charges like that before in his life. I didn't watch much Notre Dame football when he played at Notre Dame, but I'm sure he's done it before. Experience-wise, I feel like I would trust Drew Pine to do that more than...
Yeah, but again, he's not a guy that can stretch the field,
for Washington
Within,
State.
I think they had 42 seconds when they had the ball left.
Well, and then just if you look at like the probability of getting down.
I mean, realistically, the probabilities we weren't. I mean, all you need.
I think they
no
genuinely
timeouts.
look at that
So
as
you're
it's not. Well, no, you're not. I think you're kind of expecting like we're going to try this, but we're not expecting it to work because it usually doesn't for most teams. So we're not going to rush back the guy that we're relying on down the stretch because again, the season's not over.
And honestly, so before it was, we'd gotten the ball to end the game, but we had a possession like maybe a minute before. May found Jacob Harris, and he was literally like a half yard short of getting to the first down.
Yes.
It was close.
If he would have got that first down, you're pretty much in range of Jackson Cleather. So if worst case scenario happens where you don't get
he
any
wouldn't
yards,
miss 2 in a game either.
he wouldn't miss 2 in a game, and it was about from pretty much the same spot as what he missed earlier. So it's like you're in his range, and if Jacob Harris, and this isn't Jacob Harris' fault, it just half yard. It's just crazy how that works with football. It's like if he just gets a half yard, that game could be completely different. As well as, but that said, I think Baron May threw the ball and he caught it, and he still needed to gain like 5 yards. So like nobody else was open. So like you're looking at that game pretty differently if that goes Bowling Green's way. And that was with, I think it was within 2 minutes because they had 2 timeouts. Because after that it was a fourth down, or that was a fourth down. Turned the ball over. They had 2 timeouts, and then an injury timeout happened for Kent State. Drew DeShields actually went down pretty bad, and so. I mean, in no way, shape, or form, I'm saying it helped the Falcons, but like they did stop the clock and gave Bowling Green the ball back. So, I mean, again, you're looking at that a little differently if you get that first down.
Yeah, I mean, suffice to say, a surprising result, and I'm curious to see what version of this team comes out of the tunnel.
Yeah, I mean, even if you do win, let's just say they do score on that final drive a touchdown and end up winning that game. It's like, we're looking at that still in the same way of like, oh, they almost choked that away, but they still won. I mean, winning will always just cure everything. You win, if you have that W next to it, it doesn't matter. You still win the game. It flex on your record. So
now looking forward, at least I'm more or less not worrying, but wondering what the crowd situation is going to be like at the game at the Doit. I would imagine good, and they have played well in front of a pretty good home crowd. But granted, Central Michigan was family weekend. Toledo was the Toledo rivalry, and Liberty was homecoming. So they have.
Is there anything going on this weekend other than Halloween and like a hockey game on Saturday?
Senior Day.
That's Saturday.
Senior Day Saturday. Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to get
second to last home. A pretty decent draw, especially for family.
Yeah.
The rowdiness might be down, but the amount of people in the stadium.
I'm just eager to see like
close.
a student section because like obviously parents and community will always show up, but it's like the student section does that fill up?
And for I don't know how many. Probably 4 shows in a row, 5 shows in a row, 6 shows in a row. We've talked about a noon football game because it's another noon football game.
Did we talk about that last week?
Yes, we did.
I don't mind.
We've talked about it
every week.
We talk about it every week. We should skip noon cook-off.
Especially when it's home. Away was a little different, but
big noon on Fox, more like BG noon.
Gosh, Fudge was at the game yesterday. That's a positive.
Right.
That's a positive.
There we go.
Kent State. Okay. Something that should make you mad is that Kent State inherited a cat. They copied Bowling Green.
No way.
Yes.
They
copied.
No, what made me
Green.
mad was their uniforms. Those made me mad.
Those
were pretty bad.
What?
Camo, anything. I've always been anti-camo.
The helmets were.
I've never been in on camo ever.
If you're Army, fine.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. But like Kent State should not be wearing camo.
Did you see Miami's camo?
Those were bad too.
Oh my gosh.
But yes, Kent State inherited a cat, and they were like showing him off with Pudge. It's like you're a wannabe
not that
Pudge.
guy, pal.
Yeah, you're really not that guy.
You're
so
not that guy.
I don't know if you saw that, but yeah, that's something you should be mad at, other than Pudge being at the game.
There's a lot of things I'm mad at. There's a lot of things.
Oh, Pudge! Did you guys see the sign on I-75?
No,
I did.
If you're going towards
Yeah.
like from like Perrysburg Downs, like if you're going south, you see it.
We've gone from branding Eddie George to branding Pudge now. That's what we've done.
Oh man.
Is Pudge just like insulating him from taking a little bit of heat? Like, oh, look at our head coach here with this billboard, and he's losing to Central, and he's losing to Kent State. Just put the cat in the way.
Cat though.
Put the cat.
Cat's so cute.
Yes. The football team will.
I'm pro Pudge. I've always been pro Pudge. I know you are too, Lucas, right?
I mean, what are we talking about here now?
Pudge.
Like, what are we going on? Yes, I love Pudge.
There's some strong opinions, but Pudge rules. I'm going to leave it at that. Pudge rules. Sorry, Ben.
That's our closing statement with football. Is that
Reese
Pudge?
Patricus isn't here to stop
Yeah,
us.
no,
Pudge is awesome.
I'm pro Pudge.
Bowling Green will get back action on the gridiron this Saturday when they host the Buffalo
Fudge on the
Bulls.
O-line. We need Fudge on the O-line.
Okay.
I mean, he's got
We
the
need Fudge under
lockdown.
center.
He'll lock down.
yeah,
Pudge under center. Fifth quarterback this year.
the emergency QB.
Emergency QB.
You can't put Pudge
I
behind
mean,
that
he's got the
line.
chemistry with the long snapper. Just put him
True.
in under center.
Pudge could play receiver.
Yeah.
He's fast.
Yeah.
Corner.
Please move on.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're going to move on. Bowling Green's going to continue their schedule. Hope to get back in the win column after 2 losses when they play Buffalo this Saturday for another noon kickoff. As always, Falcon Media Sports Network will have extensive coverage of that one, a broadcast on Falcon Radio.
Yes.
A broadcast on Falcon Radio, which you can find at bgfalconmedia.com, as well as written content on bgfalconmedia.com, and you can check in on all social platforms as well to keep up with Falcon Media's content regarding that game. Big one for Bowling Green, big tipping point of the season, and they'll hope to get back in the win column there. We're going to move on. This one's going to take us into the hour a little bit, so we'll have a brief break, but it's okay. We're going to talk about the women's soccer team who went on a really, really long unbeaten streak, and then last week they gave it up. And 3 games remaining from that time last week, you're thinking, okay, got to get some points, try to secure your spot in the MAC tournament. And they did get another tie. Lucas, you want to talk about it a little bit?
Give it to Henry.
Okay, I'll give it to Henry. Henry, take us away, champ.
Before I lose my mind.
Well, yeah. We'll start off on a positive note. Gabby Lamparty with the last-second game winner was pretty awesome. I mean, they were pushing for that equalizer the whole second half, and they finally got it right when it kind of seemed like they were going to be not getting any points, but they did get the one, so that's the positive. The negative is, I mean, I think you could tell, Chris Fox hit on this on the press conference, is just the fatigue that it seemed like this team was kind of dealing with just because of, I mean, so they went to Buffalo on Thursday. That's probably a 6-hour bus ride. I believe they drove to that. So you go to that, and then you have DeKalb the week before. And so they just seemed tired. They came out slow in the first half, and it seemed like it was affecting them. And I believe the Akron goal came out Riley Chestnut. I believe how many set pieces did Akron get off? They had the free kick, which was off of kind of a careless foul around the box.
Dude, I lost track of how many free kicks and corner kicks there were this game.
There was a lot.
It was insane.
But I think there was a free kick that caused a corner kick. I think that caused another corner kick that eventually led to, that was the corner that Akron scored. I think that's right. But yeah, I mean, Akron looked good. They looked like they had a game plan. Their counterattack was solid, especially in the first half. And I mean, BG just couldn't really get anything going, and they were getting out. It seemed like Akron had a lot more energy, and they were playing with a lot more pace, and Bowling Green was playing to keep up for definitely a lot of the first half, but a lot of the second half as well.
Yeah, and you're in a very precarious situation now as the Falcons. After the Ball State game, Chris Fox said that they needed like 3-4-ish points. Probably win one of their last 3 to get into the MAC tournament. You look at that span for them. You got a tie at Akron earlier today. You've got that tie tie against Akron at home today. The tie at Buffalo on Thursday. Now you're staring down a trip to Massachusetts to Amherst to take on UMass, who isn't the top world beater team in the MAC, but not complete bottom feeder either. And right now you're tied with Eastern Michigan in conference points. You've both got 16. And they play Central Michigan. You are up as the Falcons. You're in 6th place. You have the tiebreaker. Doesn't look great. You kind of have to win at Massachusetts.
It's a must win. It's pretty much a must win. I don't think
Is
there's
it
any other way
can't
to look around
lose?
it. Yes.
Is it must win or can't lose?
Yeah, must win. Well, I mean,
no,
Eastern's,
must win.
No, it's a
if
must
you
win.
tie,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Eastern's going to
So,
be Central, so yeah, it is.
There is a difference between
An
those
honest
two.
to
That's why I
goodness
asked.
must win.
So
yeah.
not to take away from that too. Who has the tiebreaker? Because Eastern and Bowling Green
I believe
tied.
BG
Right
has
now,
the
Bowling Green
tiebreaker.
does.
BG has a
I assume
tiebreaker.
it's just because
I think
why is
it's
that?
it's
How does
goals.
It's
that
a
work?
total goals scored.
I'm pretty sure it's goals scored.
Goals scored.
Yeah.
That's
It-
fascinating that
because
this
they
Bowling
drew.
Green team,
Has
like
more goals
chronic
scored.
tying team,
Yeah, I
has the
know.
goal scored tiebreaker. I would
That-
not
yeah,
have
that
guessed
would be the
that
perfect
4-goal
ending.
game against Central probably helped that.
So
quite
you
a bit.
have, you talked on this more, but like it's a must win. It's a win you're in. Like you can only control what you can control. You beat UMass in front of you, you get in. You have to, because if you think Eastern Michigan is going to lose or tie Central Michigan, who has scored 7 goals all year,
Yes.
has given up 33, and hasn't won a game all season, non-conference and MAC play. I mean, crazier things have happened. It very well
Fire
could.
up chips.
It-
Fire up
Central,
chips.
Central does have
Okay.
3 draws, so
And I was gonna say, and Central
They could
drawed
draw.
with Ball State, who's a team in tournament
Yeah.
position that.
But even today, Henry, we're keeping people updated throughout the broadcast. They
Yes.
they knew they had to beat NIU. They go down, they come back and tie, give up another goal, go down again, and then they come back and win. So, and now they know, staring at fate ahead of them, hey, if we beat Central and Bowling Green doesn't beat UMass, we're in. And Bowling Green's a team that just loves to tie, apparently, for some reason. Death taxes and tying a game.
What's
yeah,
more
and-
thrilling than that, Lucas?
the thing that
I
really
mean-
I think it's kind of unfortunate, but it's just kind of how it is. It's just they were already tired from their travel schedule today. They play on Wednesday. They play on Wednesday afternoon. They fly to Amherst on Tuesday, and then even if you do win that game, you have to come back, and then go straight to Columbus. They play on Saturday afternoon, and they'll play
To play at Ball State
or
Miami.
Kent State or Miami. So it's just a tough couple weeks for them just in terms of travel. That has just not really worked out well for them when they need to be fully healthy, fully energized for this tournament push. And it's just
And you're playing a UMass team that you've not played before.
Yep.
They're brand new.
Yep.
You're going to a place where you've not played before. It's a far drive. You're playing on a day which you've not played at all this year. You play on Thursdays and Sundays. You're playing on a Wednesday at 1 p.m. Normally they're in class or they're practice, so
yeah. That's
I
why
also
that's
maybe don't trust the weather in Amherst in
that too. It could be very cold.
October.
That's the thing. That's why it was so important to beat Akron. I mean, this team didn't allow a goal to Akron in like 6 years. So and they drew them today.
They were
It was a
25
game that they
seconds
should
away.
have won.
25 seconds
And-
away from losing.
And they were 25 seconds away from losing. Yeah, that's the thing. It was a last-second
and
winner.
think of the goal they gave up. They gave up a set piece. And they've been one of the best set piece teams in the MAC all year long, scoring and defending. And they give up on someone who's man marked.
They look like a different team. I think they look like a different team because even when they were on the offensive attack, like they had possession in the second half, but the quality of chances were just not really there until they brought Gabby Lamparty, a center back, up to play striker, and get the final winner. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's tough.
I cannot believe there is a situation where this team could miss out on the MAC tournament and finish with 3 losses.
This team won. This team went 13 games without losing, and they might not even make the tournament.
Wow.
That's because
Sorry, if they tie, they have 2 losses on the year. They're going to
One
miss the
conference
tournament.
loss.
one conference loss.
If that
yeah.
happens, I mean that is that I mean I don't worship that.
That's
If
another
that
thing
happens.
is just the quality of the MAC this year is
It's
just
really good.
it is
It's really good.
insane. Even down to UMass, OU beat UMass 4-1. OU just had a lot of unlucky stuff happen for them this year, but the MAC is like 8-9 teams deep. Western is top 40 in RPI. Buffalo is right behind them. I mean, just the quality of the conference, because this is the same spot Bowling Green was in last year. They were the 6th seed in the tournament, and this team is better than the team was
Way
last
better.
year.
Not even close.
Straight up,
Not
and
even
they're
close.
still in the same position. That speaks to kind of how much the MAC
But
has
then
improved.
it goes in. You just tie too much. Like
Well,
you
yeah,
tied
I was
Toledo.
going to say you have 7 games to look
Yeah,
back
you-
on. That one kick
Even-
makes this a
Ella
whole lot better.
Kane
Yeah.
hitting the post in Miami. If the grass doesn't affect her shot bouncing up and then you go in, it's a different game. You look ahead of UMass, you don't even need to win.
There were just so many. The OU game, the MAC, I believe that was the MAC opener, or maybe the MAC
Kent
Road
State.
opener.
Kent State.
Yeah, it was the MAC Road
opener
opener.
was, yeah.
That was a game that they probably could have won. They had so many chances in that game. Miami was the other example. I mean, the Toledo game was a 0-0 draw. That was a team that they should have beat. Toledo is 10th right now.
Didn't somebody blow a tire against Ball State that allowed that one goal too?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a full
it
3-point
was
swing
a
or
slip,
2-point
a
swing.
Taylor
I
Green-
guess.
a
slip
Taylor
on
Green
wet.
Taylor Green, yeah, in her
who
first
went
game back. That's
never-
right.
And she slipped on
I
it,
swear, I think that if you go Oliphant, that might be the only foot she's put wrong all season.
It
She
wasn't,
doesn't
that's
do
the,
it.
was, she didn't do
And
anything
it wasn't
wrong.
her
She
fault.
slipped.
It was the grass. Like think of like that. That's been their luck. That's been
All
their
you,
luck.
all
last
you
2
needed
games.
was one.
And the
and you couldn't get it done.
injuries this year is just
Yeah.
that's a whole other thing too.
Now, as Mazzaferro picked up a knock today,
Yeah.
so she might be available.
Yeah.
You might without Kane, Mazzaferro,
I mean,
and Poole were finally returning.
how good was Ella Kane when she came back from injury? Like she was
Didn't miss a beat.
lights out, and they could use her. They need her right now. Hopefully she'll be back for Wednesday, but I don't know.
I can't believe we have this feeling. Like, it's just, this... I don't know what to say.
We'll get to the men's discussion later, too.
We'll talk more about this in a minute after station identification, but I want to ask you to, it's looked for a while like this Massachusetts game. I said this, I want to say 2 weeks ago, and definitely last week on the show, that Massachusetts could be a win and in game for the Falcons. But I want to know your take. Suppose they do win and they get in. What do you expect to see next? So I'll let you guys think about that for a minute. We're going to step away for station identification. But we've got the answer to that question and hockey, men's soccer, and volleyball coming up in the second hour of the Zig Zone. So don't go anywhere. You're still listening to the Zig Zone on WBGU 88.1 FM.
You are listening to Falcon Media Sports Network coverage on WBGU 88.1 FM in Bowling Green, Ohio.
Back here on the Zig Zone in the second half, once again, I'm Holden Ruck, joined by Lucas Kleinmeyer, Henry Costco, Sean Connolly, and Ben Korek. And I asked our soccer guys, Lucas and Henry, before we went to break, if the Falcon women's soccer team is able to make the tournament, what are you even expecting to see on that kind of turnaround?
The thing with Henry said, I have a very hard time seeing, even if... So I do think they'll get in. I really do. I think they'll beat UMass and get. I think they'll get off the tiebreaker. But you're playing either Ball State, Miami, or Kent State opening round, and you've lost. One loss and beat all those three teams, but you beat Kent State a long time ago. With the travel on their legs and a neutral site, with everything, I have a hard time seeing them advance past the first round. But, who knows? They could go on a miracle. You can get in and you go to run all the way to the championship. Crazier things have happened, but we'll see.
That's kind of what I was thinking as well. It's just the stamina in terms of them being able to do it. And it's also... The one thing that I've noticed is teams are getting more and more physical towards BG because with that sort of possession style, I think the way that they found to counter it is just press and not let players stay on the ball, force it to be constantly moving. And we saw Akron was extremely physical. That was an extremely physical game. We've seen that the past few weeks, and it seems like it's been getting progressively more and more physical throughout as teams kind of learn that. And UMass is looking at this game as fully winnable. They're not going to have anything to play for, just like Akron didn't really have anything to play for on Sunday. And it's not going to be easy, right? They're not going to go there, and they went up to Buffalo on Thursday, and that was a 0-0 draw in Buffalo. They can't draw really if they want a shot. So.
And I think that's always alluring for a team, especially one whose own season's hopes have kind of been dashed as playing spoiler to somebody else.
Yeah.
I don't think they need extra motivation. I don't think there's any reason to think that Massachusetts isn't going to come and bring their A game still. But just the timetable of it truly, I think, is really significant.
Just in terms of UMass's schedule, you see how much better it is for them because they had a week off between going to Toledo and then playing OU at home today, and then that's the difference, right? Is they're going to be way fresher. They're going to be way less fatigued.
Yeah, tough sledding. I think there's a good chance that this team, as much as they compete all the draws, I'm kind of with Lucas. I really do think they are going to find their win here. It's just tough because you're coming off of such a rough, 3 games in 6 days.
You've tied 7 of your 11 MAC games.
That is crazy.
Slurpee sounds good right now.
What?
You said 7-Eleven, sorry.
Slurpee does sound fire right now.
It does sound good right now.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. We've talked about too much depressing stuff. I'm trying to let
don't worry. We're keeping up soon. Women's soccer will look to keep their postseason hopes alive when they go to Amherst, Massachusetts to visit UMass this Wednesday, October 29th at 1 p.m. Wednesday at 1 p.m. sounds so wrong.
They don't play on Wednesdays. It's this Thursday, Sunday.
1 p.m. is crazy.
Yeah,
Feels like loves a nice midweek Tuesday flight.
That's like what we said last week, like a noon kickoff for Bowling Green football.
At least that's a Saturday.
No, midweek.
Oh yeah,
remember we talked about last week?
Who's watching? This might be like the least watched. like win in Bowling Green game a team has had.
I'll be
genuinely.
watching that. I'll be right in class.
That's how it was
will
last
also
year.
be
I
on.
don't know if you remember. They played in Kent State last year to get into the tournament.
That's fine, but I feel like this room is kind of an exception to that. We're gonna watch anything that they do, you know.
Yeah, we're sickos.
But yeah, definitely a must-win. I mean, literal must-win there for the Falcons. So Ben Korak was a little bit burnt out on talking about depressing stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and throw it to volleyball. Ben, you want to take us through this week?
Yeah, I mean, you might as well. When it rains, it pours. You
Rip
know,
the
you might
Band-Aid
as well.
What
bring
is
it
there
on.
like that's like though not depressing in terms of Bowling Green athletics
well,
from this past
hockey.
weekend?
Ice hockey, baby.
That's true.
But anyway,
Hockey.
volleyball.
Come on now.
Anyway,
It's
volleyball
true.
time.
I need to get in hockey mode.
Yeah, true.
My fault.
But
My
yeah,
apologies.
volleyball up in Kalamazoo against Western Michigan. Lost 2 5-set matches after leading. I believe they led the first match 2-0, and then I believe in the second match they led 2-1, and Western came all the way back and beat them. It was 2 games that through the first 3 sets, the first 2, but also the first 3, it just felt like they should have come away with wins in not 5 sets, and they didn't come away with wins, and it took 5 sets for Western Michigan to do it. They're now 6-5 overall. It's tied with Central and Ohio for 4th place in the Mid-American Conference. They have pretty much separated themselves from the top 3 of Ball State, Toledo, and Western, because Toledo and Western are 8-3 now. Ball State 10-1. Nobody's going to catch them, I don't think, because their schedule's easy the rest of the way out. And the Falcons don't even have the benefit now of playing Western. I mean, they play Toledo. They can only get 1 game back, but they don't play Western or Ball State the rest of the way. So, you know, if Western, Toledo, and Ball State handle their business, you're going to finish no higher than 4th. And in all honesty, right now you're at a point where you're just trying to stay in the tournament. You're not going to get a first round bye. It's not mathematically impossible, but Toledo and Western Michigan would both have to generationally collapse, which is not going to happen. And now you're battling with Central Michigan and Ohio, who, granted, you are far more talented than, but you're still dealing with injury. You've got easier schedule to do it, but still games that you have to win, and possibly without Amanda Otten and Lauren Hovey, who are still out, and you have 6 games left, with maybe a combination of the 2 coming back. And hopefully by the end and by the MAC tournament you're in, and you'll have both of them back. That's what you kind of have to do to be able to beat one of those top 3 MAC championship bubble teams.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the nice thing for this team is, I mean, you lost, and you don't want to see that, but you lost to Ball State, you lost to Western Michigan, you lost 1 to Toledo. You know, the remainder of your schedule isn't as tough as those teams, save for another Toledo game.
True.
But then again, it's not like you're playing the, NIU, Eastern Michigan, Kent, or, the bottom teams. You're not playing those guys. You're still playing Miami, Akron, Buffalo. I mean, those are better teams than the bottom feeders. They're kind of a long shot, but I mean, they're only, a hop, skip, and a jump away from contending for that tournament spot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those are, going to be teams that are hungry. Whether or not they're outmatched, that's a separate conversation. They're, on paper, probably worse teams. But yeah, it's crazy how quickly the vibe shifts. The Ball State loss, I was like, okay, I get it. They're good. We kind of, thought it might go that way, especially with the stars missing. But, I mean, the Broncos.
I think they're fine. I
You
really
think they're
do.
fine?
I think they're fine, too. Vibes-wise, they're
even
fine.
If they win or lose to Toledo, I think
Vibes-wise, they're fine.
Yeah.
that's kind of crazy. But I think if they win
It's
or
still
lose,
volleyball.
if they
It's
win or
literally
lose,
still
True.
like the best program over the
If
past
you-
like
That's
5
true.
years.
if
Like,
you
let's
beat
be honest.
if you beat Toledo, I'll go and change. So I
Yeah.
mean, they'll be fine.
I do agree. I was actually going to get to that. I think if you beat Toledo in front of your home crowd, that's going to cure a lot of what ails you right
They're
now.
the team that has the most they've done it before. Like
I agree with you that Toledo is a big win, because Central and Eastern play, Ohio and Kent State play. Ohio's probably going to win, but you can gain a game on both Central and Ohio and kind of lock up that 4th spot. So I agree with you guys there that Toledo's your biggest game. They're talented enough even without Hovey and Otten to beat the teams the remaining way. My focus is more now on Hovey and Otten have to be healthy for you to win games in the MAC tournament.
Yeah.
Like they have to be.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
And for you to do any damage at all, which you also have to understand, I don't think Lauren Hovey's going to get a medical redshirt year because I think she played too many games this year, which if she doesn't play the rest of the way, she might be able to, but she's done after this season. Amanda Otten's got one more year left. Jessica Andrews is going to be gone next year. You're going to bring back a solid amount of your team, but 2 of your 3 best players aren't going to be back. So, I mean, your window can be argued that it's closing.
I mean,
you don't want to squander the time you have left with Lauren Hovey because she's most likely a top 5 player in the history of Bowling Green volleyball. When she's healthy, a top 2 player in the MAC, maybe the best player in the MAC. If it probably is the best player in the MAC. So, they just have to be healthy. They have to be healthy, and if not by the MAC tournament, or if not by the Buffalo series, that'll end your season by the MAC tournament. I mean, in my opinion, they have to play 2 games together on the court and get the team back acclimated before you head into the MAC tournament, because you can't have your first game of MAC tournament be with your, you have a break in between the end of the regular season and the MAC tournament, so you can't have your first game played back with Otten and Hovey on the floor be in a game that's an elimination game. That's just that your focus should be on getting them healthy, because you're gonna beat Miami, Akron, and Buffalo. You play 6 games against them, you're going to beat them enough to probably get in.
Yeah,
and
I mean, the fact that you lose 4 and you're still in that 4th position right now, I mean, tells you where the team is, literally, but also tells you, I mean, there's a reason that they were that high and that losing to those top squads is only dropping them so far. I mean,
and like they lost 2 5 sets to Western Michigan. Both of them they could have won so easy. Like one of Hovey or Otten's back, and they win both of those.
I mean, at least one of them, but yeah, probably.
And then you're in an 8-3 situation, and Western's in a 6-5 situation. So, and Ball State, you took them to 5 sets, could have won that game, and you played with Hovey, but you still didn't play with Otten. Toledo, if Otten doesn't get injured, you can be able to come away with the win. So it's kind of like what we were talking about with soccer, that like there's so many opportunities that you can look back and say like this could have changed. And, their schedule could have been a little bit easier. This is an insanely difficult, run of their schedule. Maybe the hardest in fall sports for any of the fall sports teams at BG. But you can make a lot of excuses. They still got to win the games. They still got to make the tournament. And they still got to get healthy, man. They just have to. I
just feel like it's tough because those injuries happen at like the worst possible time. I feel like it really couldn't have been any worse to have Otten and Hovey out.
Well, Hovey before MAC play was bad enough, but Otten right before your hardest stretch of games in the season.
Especially because, the way, I mean, obviously, Ben, you were there, I was there. The way that first Toledo match was going, I felt like they had that fine. They dropped that first set, but after, the momentum was very much steering in their way, and then Otten goes down, and it's a quick, okay, now we're done in 4.
Yeah. It was going to go to 5, and they were most likely going to win in 5. And there's been we're talking negative about them and about a lot of these, but volleyball at least there's been huge bright spots. Like this weekend, especially against Western, Belle Laube played a great game, considering for 3 other years or 2 other years at Bowling Green she's been a defensive specialist. She was the best setter in the 2 games against Western Michigan. I think she led the team in assists both times. I think she had a double-double one of the games too. She was unbelievable, and hasn't played setter with Bowling Green before. The only Laube that's a setter is her sister Hannah, who was MAC setter of the year a while back, but Belle hasn't played setter before. The back row, Sydney Hernandez and Avery Anders, have been also unbelievable. They've just played so well this year, and they've got 2 more years with the Falcons, so it's nice to see them play well. I just you're missing your setter, and you're missing Lauren Hovey, who can be your backup setter while also being your right side and stabilize the entire offense. And it's always going to stem back to getting them back on the floor as quickly as possible.
And what's the idea behind Lauren Hovey playing in? Because she played in the first one against Western, right? And then not in the second, or did she not?
I don't think she played in either game. She did play last week against Ball State. She played both. But she might have dressed one game and didn't play. I don't recall exactly. I do know Andrew Smith told me he was at the games in Kalamazoo, said that Amanda Otten was taking setting reps in the second game, I believe, before it. I don't think she dressed for the game, but she was at least taking reps, which is a good sign that she's back out on the court. And getting her back is probably, that's a huge piece because you're playing with two setters right now, and two setters a lot of times is no setters. It's tough to get people acclimated and keep getting different looks and be stable with that. So, but again, I don't know. I don't know what they have to do. Coaching staff's doing their job. The team most of the time is doing their job. It's just like things haven't fallen their way, and they kind of got to start falling their way through the last 6 matches of the season.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be hard to rally. Especially the second match against Western felt like something they should have won. Absolutely. But even so, when you don't have, those top players, your leaders, the people you look to rally when it's a close game, and like the difference makers, it feels like you're going to see a lot of those matches not break your way when you don't have those people out on the court. So, I'm with you. I really think that, the story of this team right now is just, hey, we got to get our stars healthy. And, I think if they do that, we can, nix half of what we've just said. MAC tournament aspirations are, if they can get a match together, kind of get back into their rhythm, I think the only question mark would be if, assuming Lauren Hovey and Amanda Otten return, if they're able to immediately return to their standard of play.
That's why I said getting them healthy before the Buffalo series to end the season is key, because you want them to play on the court at the same time with the entire team. You also have to remember, we haven't talked about this enough. They played better in the non-conference schedule than they did last season. Like, you could make an argument that this team healthy is better than it was last season, and you went to a postseason national championship last season. So they're still probably a top 2 team in the MAC when completely healthy with Ball State, and to be honest, probably better than Ball State when they're healthy. It's all depending on getting them healthy and also what the quality of play is once they are healthy.
Yeah, definitely reassuring. Hearing that Otten, getting some reps. We know, that Lauren Hovey played in the previous match before the Ball State. But, I think the Falcon fans just need to hope that those two are able to get healthy, because I do think that it really does negate a lot of the concerns if they're able to get some floor time and get back to it. Volleyball is going to continue their schedule this upcoming Friday and Saturday, Halloween night, and then November 1st when they travel to Oxford to play against the Miami Redhawks. It'll be a 6:30 tip-off on Friday and a 4 p.m. tip-off on Saturday. And Ben, is Andrew traveling for that?
Andrew's going to Millett Hall this weekend. We also Toledo on Tuesday. At 6 p.m.
I overlooked that. Yeah.
Second edition of the Volleyball Battle of I-75. The biggest game of the season from here on out. If they win, they're in great shape, because I really doubt that both Central and Ohio will win on their games on Tuesday, on Rivalry Tuesday. So
momentum getting that get back against them also.
So speaking of the Battle of I-75, a year ago today was when we won. We beat them, yeah.
Oh, really?
10-26. I got a memory on my phone.
I thought you just knew that off the dome.
No, I looked up there and I was like, hey, that date looks familiar. And then a memory on my Snapchat came off and we beat them. Just to throw that out there.
Yep, hi Zig.
Always good eats. But Toledo this Tuesday with a 6 p.m. tip-off at home, and then Millett Hall in Oxford Friday and Saturday. So big time for the volleyball team. But if they're able to beat that Toledo team, I think they're going to be in very good shape, as we said. We're going to move on. We've only got 2 big sports left right now. Men's soccer.
Oh, yeah.
This one's your turn.
Are we keeping it back with the positivity?
Well,
we're doing?
You can bring the spin that you want, because I know that Ben's going to bring us home with hockey, so have at it.
Honestly, it's a good thing really with hockey. Well, it's interesting because I think if you would have told me you get a 1-1 draw against Western Michigan at the start of the year, that's a good result. They haven't gotten a result in Kalamazoo in many, many, many years. I don't know the exact year, but it's been quite a while. Like I said, last year was the first year we beat them in a decade, even in Bowling Green. So they've had their number for quite a while. So it's been a decade plus since we've gotten a result against Western Michigan and Kalamazoo. So you get a big draw. in all fairness, they shouldn't have. Western Michigan completely. I mean, they had 4 or 5 chances of open goals, open looks that if they would have finished one of them, the game was probably over. But they didn't. So give credit to Bowling Green, give credit to Jason Ball. Stood on his head a couple times, made a couple big saves. They bent but didn't break after giving the first goal. Josh Savejo drew a penalty towards the end, and the man who has single-handedly dragged them to the point where they're at this season, Trace Terry, stepped up to the spot and scored, and they stole a point. And Western Michigan kept them somewhat alive for the last 2 games of the season, which is good. I actually want to say something about Trace Terry before we go on more. Just to give you a reminder of how important he is. They have 5 wins and 3 draws this season. So that is 18 points, 15, 3 draws. It's okay, Sean.
I agree.
It's all right. It's fine.
Happens.
Fine. It's okay. We're all just going to stare at you now.
Sorry.
For the show. It's all right. They have 18 points from 5 wins and 3 draws. If you go look at the box score, outside of IUND, the opening game where Bennett Painter scored, if Trace Terry did not score or an assist, they do not win. He has contributed to 17 of their 18 points this season. So if you take away Trace Terry from this team, they would have 1 point. Every single win they've had, he has scored the game-winning goal or the goal in a win or gotten the game-winning assist. That's how good he's been this year. So, I know have been good record-wise, but still 9 goals and a couple assists this year. He has single-handedly dragged this team to where they're at now. Now, there's been other good performances. Other players have stepped up, but he's one of the 3 that have scored this year, him, Bennett Painter, and Salvo Rios. Other players have had good assists, good moves, good moments. Again, the IUND game, a couple of players did well, but that's how good he's been this year. So I want to give him his flowers because without him, I don't know where they'd be.
So then he's got to score against UIC and NIU then, huh?
Yeah, and get some help along the way for sure. So, yeah, now you have UIC on Halloween night, the team you beat in the MVC tournament quarterfinals last year. They're also a team that is very, very good this year. They just recently lost, though, to Northern Illinois, but they're a very good team. I made no mistake about it. They are very, very good this year. Have a lot of pace up top. They're going to be kind of motivated after the way we ended their season last year, Bowling Green. To win. They have to win. If they do not anything less than a win, I don't think they can make the tournament officially. I think mathematically, if Belmont loses to Bradley, who's the worst team in the conference, and it's not even close, then you might stay in. But you got to win. And not only you got to beat UIC, you got to beat NIU, and NIU's second in the conference. And they're also probably the biggest surprise this year in the entire conference. And we also have had trouble against NIU. Lost 2 of the last 3, including an MVC tournament game a couple years ago. And just judging based on how the season goes, it doesn't look likely. Can they do it? Absolutely. Crazy things have happened before. I would love for that to happen and sneak in that last spot, maybe 5th, depending on how the math breaks out and you go on the road again. But, man, it's kind of dire at this point. And I think you kind of knew that, like, the back end of the schedule was going to be your toughest. I mean, Western Michigan also is not having a good year at all. They've had the most losses in the conference. But just watch the game yesterday. I mean, they are really talented. They just couldn't score. I mean, I wish I had XG pulled up for me because their XG was probably off the charts with the amount of chances they've generated. I mean, Yasin, who scored the goal from left wing, had 9 shots by himself. That was more than a team for BG. And if you, again, watch the game, it doesn't matter if it was Gus Peacock or Giovanni Suarez or Tesqueta up there. He turned and burned him, man. I mean, he was lighting up there. So, yeah. I'm holding out hope. They could totally win UIC Northern Illinois and get to it. But is it likely? Stats would say probably not.
And I think the thing is you can't rely on that Bradley matchup for Belmont. I mean, that's not going to be the difference maker for you because they also play Evansville. So I mean, I feel like you could maybe count on Evansville to beat them. But again, like you've got a free win against Bradley if you're Belmont. So the Falcons really kind of just need to win and get a little bit of help. So I'm with you. It doesn't look great for them. Do you think there's another world where I mean, could Western melt down and concede, or are they too far? I don't think the standings that I'm looking at are reflecting where you said they're at.
They could, but again, just the way they've played and the way the opponents they have down the stretch, I think they have. Yeah, Drake, you're probably not going to get a result there. Or UIC. I mean, they're one that could fall out. I don't think Belmont's going to fall out. I really don't with their schedule. So it could be down to them in Western for that last spot to fall out. But, I mean, again, we'll see. But just last 2 games of the year are pretty tough opponents.
I think I'm going to make my claim here. I think that if Bowling Green wins both of their games, they're going to be fine.
Okay.
I
agree with that, yeah.
I think the odds are with one of the, I mean, UIC and Drake are both tournament teams, right now as it stands. Belmont plays Bradley, who's mediocre, but they also play Evansville, which could hand them another loss. Bowling Green winning 2 then would put them in, good position.
The question is just which version of this team are we going to see against UIC? Are we going to see the team that we saw against Bradley at home that can score a couple and get up early, or are we going to see the team that we saw against Belmont? It's going to be that sort of question. And I mean, they've played better lately in the past couple of games. That game against, I don't know. Yeah, it's tough.
It is. And I mean, it's just been consistent all year long. I mean, you beat MSU, you get a good result against a national Kentucky team, and then you lose to teams you're not supposed to lose to.
Yeah.
So it's like, what team's going to show up? I mean, we don't know. I mean, they're going to be motivated. They'll be really motivated because that has to be the message. It's you got to win these last 2, and you're in front of your home fans. Like, win tonight, give yourself a chance. Like, go down swinging.
Yeah.
Don't give up. Like, that's got to be the message.
The season's not over.
No.
Right. They're still playing to play for.
That's also being a part of a conference where 6 of the 8 teams make the tournament. So, like, I mean, it's crazy. They're in. I don't know how they're in this spot to begin with. The team as the players are just way too good. But just because you have a good roster doesn't make you a good team. But
MVC is unforgivable. There's just so many good teams. Even Belmont has played well this year, and you mentioned how good UIC is. NIU came out of nowhere, so there's 7 out of the 8 teams are tournament worthy and semifinal, final plus worthy. So
I mean, Drake, who's the preseason favorites, had been the way everyone thought they'd be. I mean, I don't think people thought Evansville was going to be this good because people they lost from last year, but they're really good this year, 3rd.
Yeah, I mean, Western's 1-1-3. That says all you need to hear.
Nobody thought that. Nobody thought that. I mean, and they had reason why their record's like that because they play such a tough non-conference. But again, just you and I both watched this game, Henry. I mean,
yeah.
I'm like, how is this team 4-8-3? There's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way. And it just shows you how tough and tight the conference is.
Yeah. Ben, did you have something? I saw your mic going a minute ago there.
No, I was just going to ask more or less, do you feel like the format of the playoffs will change, lessening the amount of teams? Because I feel the same way about the CCHA, and you might as well make it every team, or you might as well make it 4 teams.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like it's an awkward number that you're
it is.
You're competing to not be one of the bottom 2 teams, which is weirder than competing to get into the
I don't think they'll change it. I really don't. But then again, are you going to add another team? Because they had 9 last year with Missouri State.
I was going to say, it makes more sense when it's an odd number because you kind of have to.
If they lose someone else, they might change, but I don't see it. I don't see it either.
I mean, which is good, but you have to be really bad in order to miss it. You have to be Bradley. Sorry, Bradley.
Well, let's just be careful here.
Not good.
Yeah,
truth. Yeah, truth. Yeah, truth. That's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's really a ton to say about it. I mean, you gotta win to get in. Kind of the same. Funny how, for as differently as we've talked about them in every turn and every up and down for both women's soccer and men's soccer, it's hey, you have to win the remaining games on your schedule. You cannot tie them. You must win. That's fun.
Yeah.
I think I know we were talking about this, but I think both the men's and the women's team potentially missing the tournament. If that's something that you told us at the beginning of the year, then
I wouldn't have believed you.
Not a chance. Not a chance at all.
Well, I don't think as of right now, the odds that both of them miss right now, I think are pretty low.
It's low.
One of them is
how
make
low,
it.
Ben Korak?
More likely women's will make it, but I don't think both of them miss.
No, I don't.
I think it's more likely that both of them make it than both of them miss. That'll be a hot take to say.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I can see it. Well, because the women's have the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
All you got to do is beat UMass, and they're our favorite. Like they should. Now there's all these momentum, how we feel about them, travel, all that stuff. Like that's against them right now.
And men's, you just got to win.
Men's, you got to win out, but like
just win the games.
Just win, baby.
Yeah, you got to win 2 straight games that you won back-to-back games all season long. You know, they can.
I just feel like the men's team. I've said it all year. Just has too much firepower, like too much talent to just not be able to go out and.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't be surprised if they go out and win too. It would be. It's so far. Like either, that would be crazy. But like I could see them doing it.
How many times am I going to message Lucas Trace Terry legacy game this week? Stay tuned.
Seriously, he's been. I'm looking forward to watching the pros. I really am. He's been unbelievable. I mean, he's just dragged this team to results.
I mean, he plays like a guy who's bound for the pros when he's done here.
I mean, some of the goals he scored, like the Bradley goal where he just had the half bicycle volley, and even the MSU one where he just smacks it with his left. I mean, he just pulls a rabbit out of his hat, and you're just like, all right.
The way defenders are playing him this year, they're draping. They're all over him. So it's kind of just like they're draped all over him. So
I will say
also
too that he doesn't get calls. This guy does not get calls. Ever.
Yeah, he doesn't get calls.
So like they just drape on him, or they'll just like kick him.
I mean, the style of play that he has, I feel like that's just
inherent.
It's necessary to defend him that way, but it still doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
No, I don't know that there's a lot more to add on that though. I mean, they're going to need to find a spark if somebody's going to do it.
Who do you think will be the spark?
It's the two.
Who do you think is going to be
two of the three that have scored this year? Terry and
you think it's only going to be one of them?
They've shown this year it's not going to be anybody else.
You think?
Yeah,
could be Ryko.
I seem to remember Ryko in the UIC game making a big splash.
He did. Yeah, he did really good.
I don't feel like it's out of the realm that somebody on this team could do that again.
What do you think, Henry?
I want to see Ryko. I want to see Ryko score.
He's been starting down the stretch. He's been good.
I'm a big Ryko believer.
I am too. Believe in Bodurov.
There you go.
I can see that on a shirt that literally only Lucas Kleinmeyer owns.
Now I'll get Ryko. I'll give it to you, but can I have 50% commission? He's not going to watch this, but it's all right.
But yeah, the men's soccer team will make their final home game of the year this Friday on Halloween. A lot of games going on this Friday.
Oh boy, is there!
But their last home game of the year against UIC, a must-win, kicking off at 7 p.m. Lucas, do you have that?
I do. Henry and I.
Awesome.
Lucas's last. Lucas's last
game
with PBS.
Hopefully the last time we hear from Lucas Kleinmeyer.
Yeah.
Henry said the quiet part now. But yeah, check out the WBGU PBS YouTube channel for the broadcast of that about 15 minutes prior to game time.
Yeah, about around that.
Around there. Yeah. So about 6:45 for that one this Friday. Really exciting must-win game for them, and definitely going to be a good call from Lucas and Henry, some seasoned veterans there, so check that out. As always, check out bgfalconmedia.com as well to keep up with any other content related to that, and check out BG Falcon Media on YouTube for our video highlights, as our talented videographers are constantly putting highlight packages on there as well. We finally get to a brighter note. Ben, you can sit back, take your little sigh of relief, because hockey.
I'm excited.
Hockey had a good weekend.
Yeah, they did. Actually, 0-2. Winless coming into this weekend. 2 losses to Niagara. They did have a loss and a win in exhibition. Loss to Robert Morris, the win to Windsor. So they had technically a win under their belt before coming into the weekend. But Lake Superior State, probably a mid-level team in the CCHA, so it was a good bar in the first weekend of play, and they swept them. They took a 4-1 command and win over them on the Friday game, and then on Saturday it was a much tighter one, but they were down 2-1, came all the way back with some support offensively from almost everybody throughout that entire series, and they ended up sweeping the Lakers for the first time since that's their first sweep since end of January 2025. So it's been a little bit. It's a nice one to get a sweep in your first series of the season, and it set themselves up well. They're sitting atop the CCHA right now after 2 games.
Yeah, notably in the still young but already, I would say, quite successful tenure of Coach Willie, number 1, haven't lost a game to Lake Superior State.
True.
Number 2 in both of his seasons.
No, that's not true.
No, did they not? Did they lose last year?
They lost. They lost the final game of the season, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I looked at that wrong then when I was checking my stats yesterday.
Yeah, but
regardless,
I mean, I don't know what that is.
A winning record against them.
5-1. He's 5-1 against Lake State.
5-1. Oh, because they played him twice last year.
Yeah, he owns the Lakers. That's safe to say.
Owns the Lakers. Number 2, opening CCHA play for the second year in a row with the sweep series. Definitely just good to see them get it started off on the foot. What Falcons really impressed you, Ben?
Yeah, the most impressive part to me was they started 2 goaltenders, and neither of them were Cole Moore. Tyler Palmer played fantastic, allowed only 1 goal in the first game. I forget how many saves. I think it was around 27 or so. And then the second game, Jacob Steinman, a freshman. Tyler Palmer's a sophomore, transfer from Alberta, the Alberta Golden Bears, a Canadian college hockey team. And he... Jacob Steinman, a freshman, came in and he gave up 2 goals but had more saves, and he played pretty well on the Saturday game as well. So the goalie room, we were talking a lot about rookies and the firepower that they're bringing offensively. The goalie room, I mean, Cole Moore we know is solid. Tyler Palmer and Jacob Steinman, both in their individual games, played better than Cole Moore did, and both of the games that he played against Niagara. Granted, I think Niagara's a bit better than Lake State, but I think that's very consoling for Falcon fans. Maybe not for the coaching staff, because they have to make a choice on who's going to be in net each game, but that's a good problem to have, knowing that you have 3 options. If somebody's just really not playing well, you got 2 guys to go to, 2 other guys to go to, and having competition in that goalie room as well, knowing that it's not somebody's job completely is nice to have as well. So everybody's got to keep improving, getting better, knowing that if they don't perform well, it's to another guy. So I think that's powerful. There's a couple other ones too. Dominic Ryman's been very impressive offensively. Scored his first goal of the in the orange and brown, the first goal in the first game on the power play. Nice to see him score. Braden Crampton has probably been the best incoming defenseman that they have. He scored his first goal, the game winner, yesterday on Saturday. A slap shot from middle ice that worked its way through. But less so just individual names, more so just the offense has been spread around the defense and the forwards. It's been spread around incomers and returners. It's the defense has done the same. It's just a complete group effort when they stepped onto the ice both games this weekend, which I think is a very nice thing to see going forward, that you're not going to see that divide between freshmen and returners that you sometimes do, and you're not going to see that between goal score, like forwards and defensemen on who's scoring goals. It can be anybody contributing to the outcome at the end of the day, and that's in front of 3 good goaltenders, that's big.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's usually fairly optimism inspiring when you see a team that's running through multiple guys instead of just relying on 1 or 2 to really carry the team. It feels a lot more consistent.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think there's really just a lot of room for optimism. What are you expecting to see heading into this series with Bemidji State? If you look at the CCHA standings through only 2 games for most teams and none yet for Minnesota State, Northern Michigan, and St. Thomas, but also started 2-0 as the Falcons did after they won twice against Augustana. So I mean, what do you expect to see there?
Yeah, I think Bemidji is a good team. I think they have a lot of youth. The goaltender, I think, is still a decent question mark for them, so that'll be good for Bowling Green, who's going to be putting shots up. That's one of the things they pride themselves on, is just shot volume. And that's something that Coach Williams likes to put in. So I think... I think it'll be a good weekend for that. I think playing at home is going to be big, especially considering, Windsor exhibition game on a Friday, which is generally less attended than Saturday. The slate had 3,300 people show out. I think on a Halloween weekend with pretty much all students home, I think it'll be even more packed than that. So I think the atmosphere is going to be good. First taste for freshmen, especially, to be able to play under that atmosphere, and it's just a difficult place to play for opponents coming in. It's a hostile environment, to say the least. So I think that'll definitely help them. It's a pretty difficult stretch for the Falcons. Bemidji State's good. Minnesota State is, they're a wagon. They were last year. They're going to be this year. And Ferris State has kind of rejuvenated themselves. They got Brett Riley in as their coach. Brought a couple of guys from his last stop at Long Island. They're going to be a good team. So I think you got to take at least 3 points from Bemidji. If not, I think it's definitely a win of a weekend if you come away with 4 or more. I think that would be big. You just got to make sure you don't get swept in any series, and you'll be fine toward the end of the season.
Yeah, and I think there's a really good opportunity there too. With a team that, it's very early, still has a lot to learn about themselves. And with as many incomers as you mentioned, there are, a series against Bemidji, a good team, but not necessarily the class of the CCHA, have to kind of see more from them as well. You get a couple wins at home here. You've gotten a taste of CCHA on the road and at home. I think carrying 4-game win streak, if they were to sweep Bemidji, would be huge for them heading into that Minnesota State series. Like you said, Minnesota State, we know what that program's going to be.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Mankato's a tough place to play on the road, and they're real good again. Alex Tracy's back, his best goaltender maybe in the nation, if not simply in the CCHA, and he's probably top 3 in the nation no matter what. So he's definitely a guy to look out for from Minnesota State. The way the Falcons played against Lake State, I think they're going to be able to scrape away a win against Minnesota State. They at least can. Whether or not they will time will tell. But I think they definitely can take a sweep against Bemidji State. I think that would set them up very well for going forward. And I just like the way the team's set up right now, man. It's a lot of good things to see from this Falcon team.
Yeah, I mean, looking down the schedule too, you've got a stretch at the end of the season where you're going to play Augustana, Minnesota State, Michigan Tech to end the season.
And St. Thomas, I believe, as well. St. Thomas is good again this year.
And St. Thomas is right before.
That's 4 series in a row.
Augustana. Outside of that, this feels like you're kind of gearing up for a bit of a hard stretch here. Like, you don't know what Bemidji's going to be, and you don't necessarily care a ton about the non-conference. But Minnesota State, Ferris State, like you said, rejuvenated. St. Thomas, like they're getting into the thick of it right away. It feels like. Yeah,
and CCHA is deeper this year for sure. Like the top teams, Minnesota State's not as good as they were last year, even though they're still a great team. And St. Thomas has gotten better. Michigan Tech's gotten better. BG I think has gotten better. Bemidji's probably stayed the same or gotten better. Augustana's probably about stayed the same, but they were a top 2 team last season. So, there's not really a whole lot of bad to say about any team in CCHA besides Northern Michigan. Northern Michigan's free wins every time they come to town or you go there. They're 0-8 to start the season. I was holding out hope for them, but they're just gonna not be good again. So every other series for any team in the CCHA, I think it's viable that you get swept or you sweep. I think it's just that tight. So it's going to come down to how well you perform on a game-to-game basis. And we hear it from coaches all the time, but especially BG Hockey, they really do just go game at a time and just take wins when they can.
I'm still really laughing about the Northern Michigan thing. At home, on the road, everybody eats. It doesn't matter.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, it's kind of the team they were last year, too. But
sorry. I mean, they're
it is
not
what
good.
It is. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
But, no, I mean, I think I'm really, really excited to get a conference series at home here against Bemidji. I think there's so much momentum to be gained.
Yes.
And I think that against a good but not necessarily, elite or strictly outclassing your team program, I think it's going to be a great barometer, by far the best one this season of kind of what this team is. Now, I know you said you want to see them get 3 points, get 4 points realistically. What do you expect? What do you think is going to happen? Like, if you had to make your prediction?
Like a prediction?
Yeah, prediction for this weekend series.
They win they win in overtime the first game, and they win straight up the second game.
I was literally going to say these two teams love overtime.
Yeah, they
went to
last year. Lucas, did you do Augustana or Bemidji?
I did Bemidji.
I did.
We went, and then I did both games that were here too. And
you did?
They literally
okay.
3 out of the 4 games were all in overtime.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, there was a stretch of 2 weeks where we had 4 home games, Bemidji and Augustana all at home, and all of them went to overtime.
Yeah, I did Augustana. I remember that went overtime.
Yes, yeah, because Kotai stood on his head.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, that was a boring game.
Lives in my dreams, dude.
Yeah, I know, man. But I think overtime in the first, and I think they're going to learn from the first and come out in the second better than they did. And again, crowd's going to play a factor. I think they're going to have upwards of 4,500 people there for at least one of them.
It's also haunted hockey night since it's Halloween.
A lot of kids too, and the kids get loud.
Yeah, and I mean that's always something that's true too. I think there's a lot of alumni and student buy-in for the sports here at BG, but hockey is by far transcends the university. It's such a community thing here.
I think hockey and men's soccer do the best at reaching the children, like the community outreach with,
reaching
youth,
out, getting people involved, getting
like the Pee Wee hockey leagues,
yeah.
and kids just playing soccer.
Well, I mean, and there's high school and younger age travel hockey as well, that play at the Slater and we have club teams. I mean,
Constantly.
The Slater Family Ice Arena is, aptly named. It's a, real big community,
Henry can attest to the amount of times there's 30 kids running onto the Cochrane after a game to get an autograph.
They really want those autographs.
They just sprint. They Panic at the Disco Man.
Yeah.
I'll go to Andrew Schaefer, and he's and he's happy to do it.
Yeah.
He smiles.
Lucas, don't lie. You were there to get a Tracy Terry, running onto the field too.
I was already there. Don't worry.
No, exciting one coming up for the hockey team, though. First home conference series of the year against Bemidji State. On Friday, it'll be a 7:07, and on Saturday, it'll be a 6:07 tip-off on the ice against Bemidji State. So, as always, Falcon Media Sports Network will have a call of that. That'll be Mr. Ben Korak right over here.
Yeah.
On the call with...
I don't know for sure. With Sean in the first game
well,
and Nathan,
on Friday.
Yeah, that should be exciting. And I believe Nathan Bergen on the second game as well. I think it's the first time in a long time as well that BG plays a 6:07 Saturday game. Normally they're the only team in the CCHA that plays 7 o'clock
Hopefully
Saturday
the football
games,
crowd from noon just transitions into
just
the
carries over.
slate on Saturday.
Spend your whole day watching sports. Why
Exactly.
not?
Why?
You might as well.
You're going to do that anyway. You're going to go home with football and who
That
cares?
sounds like
Bowl and college
football's
got 2 losses in a row. BG hockey's got 2 wins in a row.
There we go.
All I'm saying.
Hey, that's math, folks.
That's math.
Can't argue with the
They're
math.
both
Can't argue
winning
with the
Saturday,
numbers.
so
As always, extra
Thank you.
content on bgfalconmedia.com for written recaps, BG Falcon Media on YouTube for highlight packages of the games, and check out BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network on other social platforms to keep up with everything going on around these sports. Now, in the vein of hockey, that wraps up our conversation about it, but Benjamin has been so kind as to contribute something else to the cause here for our kind of closing minutes of this show. You wanna fill us in?
Yeah, I'll hand it out to you guys. This is some fudge from Sault Ste. Marie, and about as north of Michigan as you can get without being in Ontario, Canada. It's called Turtle Fudge. I think it's got pecans and caramel on it. Lucas, you want to come grab some? Nobody's allergic to pecans, are they? But this is Michigan delicacy right here. Fudge is big thing.
Fudge is huge, like near
northern
Traverse City.
northern Lower Peninsula, Traverse City,
All
UP.
that.
All right. Everybody, cheers.
Cheers to this fudge.
Are you already munching?
Already did.
It's also, you got to be careful because this stuff is dense.
It's heavy.
It's
And
heavy,
also,
man.
Ben seemingly kept it in his pocket for the last 24 hours.
No, it's not melted. It's very good, though. It's very good. Fudge de lac, I guess. Assuming that means fudge of de lac.
Get away from the mic so this
I
is
got-
turned to a giant ASMR session.
Yeah, I know.
Not what they signed up for.
This is, I think this is just chocolate, pecan, and caramel. I got a dark chocolate one because I'm a huge dark chocolate guy. And then Nick Windholtz was with me. He chose peanut butter cup.
That sounds fire.
Which is also
that sounds
banging.
good.
Peanut butter fudge goes crazy.
So
but
can he bring that tomorrow?
yeah, probably do our meeting tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll share it with
How
everybody.
was the trip, though?
It was good. The drive home was a bit late last night, so I was blasting.
You guys drove home last night?
Yeah, we got home at 3 a.m. I was blasting some Kesha in the car, kind of keeping Nick awake, but that's better than like.
You'd
You'd rather both stay awake because
Exactly. Well, he was a trooper about it too. He tried to stay awake so that I had at least something to
I mean, that's your
something to talk
obligation
to.
as the passenger.
We also did our Good Samaritan for the week. There was a gentleman at a gas station we stopped at that needed a ride to his wife in the car because he ran out of gas, and we gave him a ride.
Here we go.
Wow.
So we were Good Samaritans this week as well. But it was very cool. There was a lot of BG fans in Lake State. The Sulaks we got to see. It was pretty cool. Very slower than I would think, and it was cold. So that maybe it felt slower because it was cold outside. But overall, a great experience. I think Nick's going to work some of the photos he took and the video into the highlight package that he'll make for this weekend of the highlights of the games as well, which were fantastic. So definitely keep a lookout for that on Twitter, and I'm assuming BG Falcon Media YouTube channel as well.
Definitely something to look out for. I think it's always really exciting whenever, especially visually, we're able to have new content from places that are less traveled to. You go to Sault Ste. Marie once in a year.
Well, I also looked on TripAdvisor. The fifth most visited place, or the fifth best destination in Sault Ste. Marie is the Home Depot.
Wow.
So it's pretty much
No
Sulaks. It's pretty much the Sulaks, Lake
Can't
State
be
hockey, and then whatever you need to get from the grocery store.
Brother, the Home Depot?
The Home Depot.
We
I
have a
swear.
Home Depot.
I swear.
That's crazy.
I swear. I looked it up because I
What
was
do
like,
they
dang,
do
this place
at
has
that
got to
Home
have cool
Depot?
stuff.
What do they have?
I don't know, man.
There were
lumber.
parties.
You worked at a Home Depot. You know
I do
this.
currently work at a Home Depot. I
Nice.
wouldn't go on my free time. Tell you that. Tell you that right now.
Oh my god.
So-
You're not old enough yet
To go to Home Depot?
Yeah, to enjoy going to Home Depot.
Yeah.
No, I do
That is an
enjoy.
older
I'll
guy
I'll
thing.
never go to Home Depot to buy stuff,
Dun.
but
Mhm.
I do enjoy Home Depot. The smell of Home Depot
Yeah.
goes crazy.
Yeah.
Were
Smell of
It
lumber.
does have a sense.
Were you
sense
one
to
of
it.
those as a kid? Were you like really? Did you ever do like the projects they have, like
No,
build your
no.
own toolbox with a hammer and nails and whatever?
No, it wouldn't be safe to do that at the Home Depot that's closest to my house. But I did some stuff like that with my dad. Like I refinished an entire counter, like a coffee table, refinished it with goods from Home Depot. I don't get a discount for Home Depot either. Isn't that crazy? Work at Home
That's
Depot, no
wild.
discount.
No employee.
No employee
like,
discount.
That's crazy.
Because if it was like 20%, I'd just buy like
You
a
just buy lumber,
$200
dude.
drill, 20% off. I'm saving
Dude.
like a ton of money, and they're losing money on me.
Do you
This guy
have
would just
people
buy
that
lumber.
try to do that? Have you
But
seen
isn't
that penny
everywhere?
thing?
Like they're losing money technically with a discount.
What do you mean?
Like anywhere.
Yeah, but not with like
some
big
places
ticket
don't.
items, like $1,000
Sean's-
$1,000 of lumber, 20% off is a lot.
true.
Sean's
That's
like
a
on
ton.
his soapbox again about how much he hates Costco and like how he can't find anything in Costco
Yeah.
anymore. Sorry, Hen-
What
sorry,
were you saying, Henry?
Yeah,
Sorry.
no, sorry, he doesn't hate Henry. He hates the store.
I hate
Yeah.
Costco.
have you seen
Wait,
those
do you work
videos
at
where
Costco?
there's what?
No.
He said he hates Henry, so I was like, wait, did I offend him with me hating Costco?
No, you're hating on wholesale.
What were you saying, Henry? Sorry.
Yeah, did you know I'm named after the store actually? So.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Henry Alden?
Okay. Have you seen those videos of them doing the buying the
I'm
penny
sorry.
items that are like worth a penny
Oh yeah,
at Home Depot?
That's very not allowed, by the way.
Dude,
It's
really?
really not
It's
allowed.
not allowed?
It's completely like employee.
What
Like
items?
you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to sell penny items.
Really?
Yeah, you're not
Oh,
supposed
okay.
to.
What are
That's
penny?
fair.
So when the company doesn't want anything on the shelf, they mark it. It's marked down to a penny because it can't be zero. So it's marked down to a penny, and then you just throw it away. But it can be marked down to the penny. It's just not pulled off the shelves, and then people will like look for the penny SKUs, they're called, and just go in and buy them. And they're supposed to sell them for the last retail price. A lot of the time they don't, and they just sell it for a penny.
huh?
You know, I've
That's like a
always
really weird-
ending for Zig Zones this year. And
I know,
and
talking
previous
about Home
years,
Depot and Fudge.
Home Depot and Fudge was not on my list. This is a sports radio
Dude,
show.
my Home Depot is also opening. You know the hot dog stand.
What is happening?
That's a big thing. They're opening a hot dog stand.
Oh, that's a big deal.
At my Home Depot.
Ooh.
Wow.
Might
So
have
I
to
will
go
not be
to-
bringing the lunches to work from here on out.
Wow.
There we go.
Only
Wow.
be ripping $3 hot dogs.
I feel like
Are you a mustard or ketchup guy or
Mustard
relish?
only.
I'm mustard
If I'm
only.
eating it,
It's
like
gotta
if
be
I'm-
mustard.
If I'm eating it at the house, it's ketchup and mustard. If I eat it like out and
At
about
like a
somewhere,
ball game,
definitely
like ball
just
game
mustard.
is like strictly mustard. If
Or
I see
the Comerica Park dogs, you can eat no mustard.
if I
you can
have,
just eat them
if
I
plain.
mean,
I
you
have
can eat
the
any
option,
dog, no condiments.
True,
If you really wanted
but
to,
like-
but I'm always mustard.
if I
strictly
have the
on my
option,
dogs.
I'm doing like thinking bigger picture than just ketchup mustard. Coney dog, cheese, onion every time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Every-
Yes.
If a chili
mustard
dog,
be darned.
if a
I
chili
do
dog
not
is
care.
available, it's chili dog.
Wait
every
a
time.
second here. We talking about Skyline Chili now?
No, we're
There
not.
we go.
No, we're
Nobody's
not.
talking about that.
Let's
Also,
go.
I didn't realize that there's a skyline like near Kent. I
Yeah.
saw one for an exit, and I'm like,
More reasons not to go to Kent.
More reason to go to Kent, man.
Woo!
It's a big Cincinnati
tell
guy
him
over
to
here.
All right, how long we got?
7 minutes. We could talk more about Halloween candy.
And, yeah. Oh,
Favorite Halloween candy?
Yeah.
Rob?
Favorite Halloween
Favorite
candy?
Halloween candy. I gotta go with a classic. It's just I've always loved them since I was a kid. I love Kit Kats.
Kit Kat's a good one.
fair,
It's a good one.
fair.
Good
Lucas.
crunch.
I'm a Starburst guy. I
Which
love
flavors
Flavor.
though? Like you get a pack of two. You
There's
get like
one
in the
correct
little
answer.
thing.
There is a right answer
There
here.
is a
Pink.
correct answer.
Double pink.
Yes.
Yeah, pink.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pink.
Yeah.
Correct.
Attaboy.
Pink.
I
If you had
like
to pick
lemon,
another
pink.
one though,
Correct
because like
choice.
double pink is always the
Lemon.
best.
I like yellow a lot.
Ooh.
I like lemon a lot.
Oh,
I like
that a
the
lot.
pink and
Orange.
red. Those are the only two.
I
that
like them all, but the
I-
pink one's undefeated.
I do like them all, but if I get in the package of two, which is usually the ones for Halloween, like if I really want more than one flavor, it's pink red
Pink
for
red,
me.
yep.
That's a good one.
I agree with that.
a package with pink and red would
Yeah.
that's like
Yeah.
a package of two with that.
Okay.
I would go. I'm an old man, so I would go Mounds. I love Mounds.
Mounds are so good.
I thought you were gonna say
Dude.
like Werther's
Dark
Originals,
chocolate?
dude.
No, dark chocolate and coconut is like.
Yes.
There's like Tyler Cavill's
I
in the
love-
distance pumping his
Yeah,
fist.
Yeah, I know.
He's
Big
loves-
Mounds guy. Really?
Not really, but I respect the.
This guy doesn't
Okay.
like coconut, I fear.
I'm not a coconut guy. I absolutely hate
man.
coconut.
Mounds are good, but Almond Joy, not
No,
I
not as
don't,
good
yeah,
as
No,
I
Mounds.
don't. I
Joys
don't
are
think
also
it's
good.
like crazy for you to say that. Like I don't think it's like a bad pick.
Also, like, who thought like
But,
let's
like,
just
I just-
add
it's not my
an
preference.
almond to this?
it. Yeah.
Like one almond is
Just
gonna make
it
people want
drastically
it.
worse.
I mean, I love candy, so I'll eat like anything. But I really love Butterfingers. I know it's kind of crazy. People hate them for some reason. I really don't know why.
In like Lunchables.
Yeah.
True.
So like, I love Butterfingers. I mean, you have your classic like Reese's. Everybody loves Reese's, but like, if I really am like some like more of like a different pick, I like Butterfingers.
Have you ever had chocolate Butterfingers?
Huh?
They make chocolate covered. Oh, not chocolate, but I'm thinking of Payday.
Anyway.
Oh,
Never
Payday's
mind.
gas though.
Paydays are good, underrated.
Payday are good.
Probably circus peanuts.
This guy's not serious.
No.
He is
No.
not serious.
There is no way.
I'm kidding.
That's like saying good and plenty, bro.
Oh, you're kidding. Okay, what's
No,
up?
I just saw a video of a guy eating like 60 circus peanuts, and it made me think of it. Probably like Kit Kat. But that's just like a basic answer. That's why I didn't want to say that.
It's
It's
good.
just
gotta
a
come up with
basic
something
answer.
fun. Say something fun.
It's good.
Like Hershey's cookies and cream.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
That's
Those
a
are
good
really good.
That's a good
What
point.
about? I know only Lucas said fruity candy, but I separate the two to like my favorite candy is
And favorite
chocolate.
chocolate. Yeah.
Like fruity candy are
Chocolate
two
fruit,
different
yeah.
things.
No, that's real.
So I'm glad you mixed in
Yeah.
a
Had to have
different
some
other than
representation on
chocolate.
both
But
sides.
chocolate is like superior Halloween
The
candy
best
in my
straight candy
opinion.
though is Dots.
Dots are fire. Dots are
Dots
very
are
good.
Yeah.
Mike
Best
and Ike's
movie
are
watching
also very
candy.
good.
Skittles.
Mike and Ike's are good.
Period.
Skittles.
Skittles
Sour
are-
Patch.
Skittles are
Skittles
good.
are S tier.
Sour Patch.
And now we're losing the
Yeah.
plot again, so I think that's going to be a good time
Yeah.
to wrap it up for today. Yeah, hopefully you get all that candy you're looking for this weekend. Sean, are you going trick or treating?
No, I have to broadcast the hockey game. So
No.
I'll go after, actually, yeah. But no, I actually was talking to somebody the other day. It's like I didn't utilize getting free candy like more than I should have growing up.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I was not a big
That's
Halloween guy,
fair.
but it's free candy.
I was up until like high school, and I thought it was like, oh, I'm too cool for this. But then like looking back, it's like,
Yeah.
why didn't I just like get a group of friends and get
Fact.
free candy?
High school's a little bit old.
Well
in my
done.
opinion.
I would say it's until you graduate.
Well, we'll leave
upper
that take
class.
for another day. That's going to
Yeah.
do it for us here on the Zig Zone. As always, to keep up with all of the Falcon Media Sports Network content going on, with all the Falcon Athletics going on this upcoming week, you can check out bgfalconmedia.com for all of our written content. Check out BG Falcon Media on YouTube for video highlights, press conferences, and more. And as always, you can check into our broadcasts on Falcon Radio at bgfalconmedia.com or right here on WBGU 88.1 FM. That's going to do it for us here from the Zig Zone. For Lucas Kleinmeyer, Henry Costco, Sean Connolly, and Ben Korek, I'm Holden Ruck saying good night, and I Ziggy.